leaders gasping for air. Santa's sleigh was empty, no rally in sight. But thick cars rolled in, oh what a glorious night. With thighs of thunder and a belly so wide, he carried the dreams of the bulls by his side. In his hand a chart glowing green and bold, thick cars the savior, breaking bears hold. Thick cars saving Christmas Day. He's pumping up the market, sending shorts away. Riding high on stonks, sleigh bells ring and chime. The Santa rally's here and it's thick cars time. He marched down Wall Street with a swagger and glee, whispered by the dip, then shouted, let it spree. Bears were trembling, selling in the night, but thick cars bellowed, hold tight, it's alright. The bulls came charging, their faith restored, as thick cars rallied the market hordes. Green candles rising, a magic cause delivered, let the markets rise. Thick cars saving Christmas Day. He's pumping up the market, sending shorts away. Riding high on stonks, sleigh bells ring and chime. The Santa rally's here and it's thick cars time. The bulls came charging, their faith restored, as thick cars rally the market hordes. Green candles rising, a magical sight. Thick cars delivered, oh what a delight. Thick cars saving Christmas Day. He's pumping up the market, sending shorts away. Riding high on stonks, sleigh bells ring and chime. The Santa rally's here and it's thick cars time. Now the bulls are dancing, the bears are in flight. Thanks to thick cars, it's a green Christmas night. So raise your glasses, toast the man so thick. The fucker saved Christmas, now it's degen time. Thick cars saving Christmas Day. He's pumping up the market, sending shorts away. Riding high on stonks, sleigh bells ring and chime. The Santa rally's here and it's thick cars time.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever freaking time it is for you right now or whenever you're watching this. Folks, it is a beautiful Monday, December the 23rd. It is Christmas Eve. I actually believe it's Hanukkah Eve as well. I don't know if they really work like that, though. I don't know if they're really Eve type of people. But to all the Santa Claus supporters in here, it is Christmas Eve. So I hope you guys are getting ready. The market is going to be interesting today. I don't think there's that much going on. I'm going to show you the expected range and whatnot for the overall market. But I do believe that certain individual equities could have some exciting times. And I'm mainly talking about Rumble, which happens to be where a lot of you are watching right now, because there was a big announcement right after the market closed on Friday that related to Rumble and a new partnership, not only further deepening their ties with the world of crypto, but they are basically now in a $775 million agreement / partnership with Tether, the world's most popular crypto stablecoin. I think it's used by 350 million people, some ungodly large number like that. So not only are we going to break that down, and talk about it, chit chat about it. I do have a standalone video explaining the whole thing. Obviously, it is up on Rumble. It is up on YouTube if you want to watch it. But what you need to really know is that Rumble skippity dippity doodad all the way up to a 50% gain after this announcement. And we're talking a lot of dinero, a lot of money, a lot of things going on. So should be pretty interesting. And I have a little bit of an announcement for all of you around 10:30 today. 10:30, the CEO, chairman, and founder of Rumble, Mr. Chris Pavlovski, will be coming on the show to talk about this new alliance in real time, talk about maybe how it came together, where he sees all of it going, and then obviously answering some of the questions that you guys have on your mind. So the CEO, founder, chairman of Rumble, Chris Pavlovski, coming on the show live today around 10:30 a.m. ET, like I said, about an hour and a half from now to talk about it. And then obviously we're going to be able to see what's going on with Rum in real time. So a little bit of an exciting treat for all of us. Like I said, when I found out that this was all coming together, truly felt like Christmas was coming early. So very, very, very excited about all of this. So that's happening today. Obviously, we have a little bit of political drama update. We have a market update. We have individual equity update. We're going to talk about craziness at market open. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm seeing for the conclusion of the year into next year. And then I have some other little surprises here and there for you guys throughout the show. I'm expecting a lot of this to be more in the holiday mode today. I know many of you are already kind of done with the market. So even if you're tuning in here just to kind of mess around, really from the bottom of my heart, I truly do appreciate it. I want to let you guys know that I decided to be the best husband I could be. I was thinking about streaming tomorrow and then again on the 26th and the 27th. I'm basically only taking off Christmas. But my wife decided to go see her family in South Dakota. And like I said, I decided I should be a good husband. So right after today's show, I did buy a last second ticket. So I think I'm going to take a breather until later on this week. I'll probably be back by Friday, but I just figured between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we all need a little bit of a breather. So I just want to give you an idea of the show, what's happening with the show, what's not happening with the show, but taking a little bit of a break the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. So just want everyone to know about the show and this show schedule. And also, if you happen to know anything about Rapid City, South Dakota, let me know because I've never been. I think as a youngin', I might have been in South Dakota one time in my life, but I don't know what goes on there. Are there moose? Is that a thing? Can you ride a moose? How cold is it? Am I supposed to bring 18 different jackets to not get hypothermia? What's the vibe like? And more importantly, can I do some of that lake fishing that we've all seen so many videos about with that mayor? I believe it was banned in Ohio. Is that where all the fishing tents were banned? The ice fishing? Is that a thing that goes down in Rapid City? There's mule deer gonna freeze there? Most likely. So maybe I should add a caveat to this whole thing that I'll be back on Friday if I don't die of hypothermia. Willie lives in Rapid City. Well, if you see about a 5'10" dude running around drunk in 18 different coats with a Santa hat on, you just know I'm living my best life. You know I'm living my best life. And also, Willie, as a native to the area, will I be able to see a moose? I feel like that's what I'm kind of most interested in. Like North Dakota, but more south. I did hear that was a defining feature between the two. I did. Mule deer and elk. Oh, that's like what's there. So no moose, no moosin, no moose-eye. I don't think there's really a plural for moose. But anyway, that's what's going on. Wanted to give you guys a heads up. And obviously, we're going to have a lot of other stuff to get into. So we should probably get rocking with the show. This is the major headline of the day. S&P Nasdaq futures inch higher as the market begins a holiday shortened week. The market closes at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and it's completely closed on Wednesday. So it's a half day tomorrow, completely closed on Wednesday. With respect to the market, here's how we're looking right now. Obviously, a strong bounce back on Friday. After a cooler than expected inflation report, we got the PCE report. The market really liked that. It came in about a tenth cooler than expected. We popped off And then around 1, we had a little bit of like the start of a sell-off into close, and right now we're pretty much just below the closing value. So the SPY, the overall market is just below where we closed on Friday, while the Qs are just above. NVIDIA, I was just doing some research looking at that, strong recovery. Actually, we're going to go through the individual stocks in a second, but the star of the show is in the bottom right here, RUM. As you guys can see, a beautiful 43% return from the closing value on Friday at 719, currently trading at 1034. If you watch the video, you know we're skipping over all the major strike levels, so we're very much in negative gamma, which is where things can get truly, truly exciting, and it's for a good reason. The way all the numbers work out, Rumble's getting a nice cash injection of $250 million to use to grow all their efforts, whether it's to hire more engineers, developers, employees, top tier talent, new strategic brand partnerships and alliances. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that they have $250 million, which for them and where they've been, please remember, in late 2022, around December, when they hit the public market via the SPAC with Cantor Fitzgerald. Remember how Rumble went from CFVI to RUM? On that deal, after all the fees and whatnot, I believe they cleared roughly, don't hold me to it, but I'm right within to $5-ish million. Around $383 million is how much cash they had in the coffers at the time. Now, they've made it from the end of 2022 to clearly the end of 2024. They still have cash in the bank. I want to be clear here. They're not in debt. I believe they actually have over $100 million, but you might want to check the most recent filing. They still have a ton of cash in the bank. This is now more cash in the bank. And in that time, obviously, we've talked about their usership growth. We've talked about their viewership growth. We've talked about their content creator growth. We've talked about their ad growth. Obviously, just growing sequentially over all of the major time frames. The stock before this, already on the year to date, was up about 50-60%. On this gap up, it's going to be up even more. So basically, there's just a lot going on, a lot of cool things there. So this, among other stocks, is going to be not only one of my major watches for the upcoming calendar year, but I would actually argue it's going to be a major watch for the next few years, the next handful of years, where Rumble is as a company in its growth cycle. I think there's some exciting times ahead, and I think that should, if everything goes well, should be reflected in the stock prices. That's my anticipation. That's why I'm invested in Rumble. I don't actively trade it. I want to be very clear that, yes, of course, I'm bullishly biased. Not only am I on Rumble, I love my community on Rumble. You guys show up for me every single day. I like the company. I like what they stand for. I like the direction. I think they're going to be able to execute upon their vision. I just think there's a lot going on to be excited about. But of course, those are my own thoughts and opinions. I highly recommend you do your own research and due diligence on all of this. But Rumble, I think, has some very, very exciting times in the short, medium, and long time frame coming in. So obviously, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the overall market. I have some options breakdown. There's a lot to get into. You can see right here, the futures were inching higher, gave a little bit back. The Qs are slightly green. The SPY is slightly red. So not much movement in the overall market. Donald Trump says Vladimir Putin wants a meeting as soon as possible about the war with Ukraine. So a little bit for your political drama update. We know, what is it, January 19th or 20th? I believe it's the 19th? Is it the 20th? I forget the day of inauguration. Someone correct me. Is it the 19th or is it the 20th? Why am I confusing the two? It's either January 19th or the 20th. Actually, let's see. January, I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday. Sunday's the 19th, Monday's the 20th. It's the 20th? Okay. I knew it was one of those 2 days. I just didn't know if they do it on a Sunday or a Monday type of a vibe, but I guess it's on a Monday. So anyway, Trump is about a month out, less than a month out. We are going to have a new president of the United States. President-elect Donald Trump will be taking his oath, then stepping into office. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot changing right away. And I think one of the major things, just to list one in the litany of things that will be changing, I think we're going to see quite a bit of a different tune, vibe in the world of what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, and our continual sending money to Ukraine, and really even how the leader of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is interacting with the U.S. in this whole ordeal. So I would bet strongly that things are going to be changing very, very quickly, like within a day or two, centering around that. Now, obviously, I'm hopeful that it's all for the better, but I have no future telling balls, so we're going to have to sit back and wait on that one. Trump threatens to retake control of the Panama Canal unless unless a deal is reached. So a little bit of breaking news over the weekend. President-elect Donald Trump threatened to reassert U.S. control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American Passage, which allows ships to cross between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. So I guess just another wild thing. I just feel like every so often I open up my phone and I'm either fighting with people who are still shilling some of the worst stocks ever, or I'm just getting a random announcement that I would have never thought was going to be in play from the president-elect, and this is one of them. So definitely something to pay attention to. I kind of need to start all of these narratives with you just in case the narrative continues to grow and it becomes even more impactful. But for now, I just want to let you know that something like this was announced over the weekend. It feels like Elon Musk is our prime minister, the fallout from the funding debacle. I find this to be very, very intriguing because if you guys need a very quick refresher on this, basically there was a giant bill. I'm talking over 1,530 pages. I think it was technically 1,534. Huge bill and sub 20 pages actually related to government funding and keeping the government open. The rest of it was just random things being thrown in. Some of it was woke BS. Other things were just like funding for people impacted by the hurricane. There was a crazy amount of things in this particular bill that had nothing to do with keeping the government open and functioning. And obviously there was quite a bit of backlash when people realized this on Twitter. So the bill just got completely nixed. And then that got turned into a whole thing of, look at Elon Musk is our dictator now. And I just kind of find this whole thing interesting. Does Elon Musk, according to Forbes, the world's richest man, and I'm just saying according to Forbes because we know that probably people like Vladimir Putin and people in the Middle East are probably more wealthy than he is. But according to Forbes, Elon Musk is the world's most wealthy person. And if you look at Pocahontas, if you look at AOC, if you look at these people, there's a huge backlash of, look at the world's richest man is now controlling U.S. politics. And to a certain degree, I think that is actually accurate. I think it is clear that there's a big influence between Musk and Trump and the government's direction. But hold on one second. Why are we acting as if this is now a new thing? I mean, seriously, as if before this, Soros wasn't like, folks, this is how things have been running forever. Billionaires, very rich and powerful people have always had their finger in the pie of how politics has run. I don't understand this. Like, this is just how it's been going. And there's like almost a certain form of rhetoric as if this is the first time it's ever happened that the president is friends with a billionaire and they might have an influence on policy and direction and initiatives. What? This is it? And not even for the entire history of the U.S. political system. This has been it. Crack open a book. I mean, you're going to read many, many chapters spanning thousands of years of how politics and money have always had an ancestral relationship. And then I crack open something like TikTok and you have Pocahontas and AOC acting like this is the first time it's ever happened. And I don't know if they're I really don't think that they could be so stupid that they don't know it. I think they're being intellectually dishonest. And right now they're using their own platforms to spin a certain narrative that is beneficial to them at this moment in time. But what's weird is we have these like really, really stupid people that have malleable minds that they're gobbling this up as if it is the first time. So I don't know. That is completely blowing my mind. But that was some of the blowback from over this most recent weekend. House Democrats say GOP caved to Musk and funding bill protecting his China interests. Do you see how this is being spun? It got killed because we're all sick and tired of the random things being put into all these bills. And they were given 19 hours to comprehensively understand a bill that was over 1,500 pages. And yet media right here showing you CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, they're all going to do this. They're like, yeah, no, this is to protect China. Or that's one, you could insert anything here. And it would be, how about we just have some honest reporting? Bill is killed because public wakes up to the bullshit that goes on in U.S. politics all the time and the amount of just pork shoved into all these bills. We're sick and tired of it. And now legacy/mainstream media is getting pissed off because the amount of individual voices that are going viral, whether it's on video, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Substack. But I think mainstream media as a whole is starting to freak out. And I'm not saying this is a left or right thing, because I think mainstream media on both sides is like right now they're realizing that their revenue is going down and down and down. And more importantly than that, you're seeing their power just evaporate into thin air because of the rise of individual voices. And collectively, these rise of individual voices, left and right, on the most recent bill for funding the government, they're like, this is pretty crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And yet we're going to see these types of spins, which are just like, they're disgusting. They're so incredibly stupid. And I, for one, am happy that so many people are waking up to this. Once again, this isn't meant to be a left or right thing. If I see a Republican or a Democrat trying to pass a bill for one, I don't know, basic thing, such as, hey, the elected politicians shouldn't be traded, and then you tell me it's over 1,000 pages to say that, obviously there's other things being shoved in there that people are being forced to vote on, but maybe like they should be independent bills so we can vote accordingly. Like, that is just so painfully logical. That is so incredibly evident. And I get it. I'm just a dipshit 30-year-old that doesn't have real life experience. I've never been a parent. I've never been an elected official. But if I can see something just so clearly obvious right now, you're telling me that this cohort of 70, 80-year-olds who have been career politicians forever can't see it? No, they can see it, and they like the complexity. They like how it's just complete BS because it gives them something to bitch about, and it gives them a way to insulate their own power and continually get reelected. We all know it. We all know we're stuck on this crazy hamster wheel. And the fact that more people are continually calling this out, I think this is why the current political system is in such incredible disarray. And also on top of that, we see legacy media also in incredible disarray. Matt's 30 now. I literally thought he was still 28. No, dude, I'm 30. I'm old and withered. It's time to take me out to the back 40. I think I have maybe 1 to 2 more mediocre years left in me, and then I think this is donezo. I've been on a steep decline ever since I think I peaked junior year of high school when I first went to Cheesecake Factory. I want to say it was October 2011 is probably when I peaked. Yeah. And then like ever since there, it's just like your life builds up to the first Cheesecake Factory event of your life. And then from there, there's been moments where I kind of had another upswing. Basically every single time I go to a Texas Roadhouse. But overall, the direction is still down. It depends on like how close you are. Yeah, it gets much worse at 40. Dude, I'm not making it to 40. Let's be honest. Speaking of being honest, I want to give you some facts, stats, and figures of the market. It gets a little bit choppy right at the end of December, but I wouldn't say we're there yet. We're still kind of in this bullish period here. And I do want to remind you that from a seasonal standpoint, the bulls are still in control up until about mid-January. So from a seasonal standpoint, that's important to know. And if you want to get a little bit more granular, this is how over the past 5 years, you have the bullish and bearish months. Obviously, over the past 5 years, averaging it out, February and September are the only bearish months. It just generically pays to be a bull. But then if we look, what are you doing, Piper? That's so rude of her. She's just smashing my closet right now for no reason. Piper, I'm running a show. Yeah, I am. How do you think I pay for your kibble? I'm literally Dude, this cat, man, she is on one. I think it's because she's just lashing out, obviously. She doesn't, what's up? Talk to everyone. Is this what you wanted? Huh? You want your big show? This is your moment. You have something to say? Say to everyone? You gonna calm down now? You happy? All right. Let's put her in our little cat bed. Anyway. Where was I? On a more granular level, I do want to show you that this week it is bullish, but really it's next week and then the second week of January where you see a little bit more of like an evident bullish skew. So this week, I want to be clear, is bullish, but it's kind of next week that people get real excited. So just want to show you that, and obviously shout out to Edgeful. This week itself is a little bit strange. We do have a macroeconomic update at 10. We're going to get the consumer confidence. Tomorrow is the half day. The market closes at 1 p.m. The market's completely closed on Wednesday in observation of Christmas. On Thursday, the market's open, even though we all apparently have to box people, but that's a normal trading day. And then so is Friday, December the 27th. So I just want you to have some ideas. There's not the biggest announcements, whether it's the overall market or even if you're looking at individual equities. It's not like we're in earnings season or anything. So just want to let you know there might be some movement in the world of semiconductors. Biden team to probe Chinese chips, setting up Trump for tariffs. So remember, there's this like weird semiconductor, and I'm really talking about processing chips, like high-end processing chips, a little bit of like a strange trade war, Cold War going on there, because like the best ones are being developed here, and then they're not supposed to go to China, but then surprise, surprise, we've been finding them popping up in China, and the main assumption is they're being sold to certain countries, and then those countries are reselling them to China. So there might be some drama here, a little bit of trade war. Hey, you can't do that, but yeah, I want to do this. So something to pay attention to that definitely might be heating up when Trump takes office. U.S. launches new probe into legacy Chinese chips as tech pressure on Beijing escalates. So just another news article basically saying exactly what I just said of, hang on, things could get tense. So obviously we're talking about major names such as NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Qualcomm, ASML, AVGO, Micron. Those are all within SMH. SMH is the ETF, the basket of stocks tracking this particular indice that worthwhile to pay attention to. Worthwhile for sure. Honda and Nissan officially begin merger talks to create the world's third largest automaker. Their goal is to have this done by 2026, but it might get approved. It might not get approved. This would be a huge merger. So I just want to let you know something going on with Honda and Nissan. Now, here's a look at the overall market. You can see we're kind of right at the 50 EMA. The Qs are bouncing even stronger. I would love for them to take out 525 today. I would love for the SPY to take out 596, taking out that high from Friday on both of those would be a nice win. The small cap sector has been getting hit quite a bit more, not doing well. If you look at Bitcoin, trying to hold this 50 EMA, would love for it to recapture 100, 103, somewhere in here. I'm looking at this upsloping trend line, but I would say the bell of the ball is on the screen right now. I am talking about Rumble. Exploded right after the market closed on Friday, and it all related to this. Rumble announces a $775 million strategic investment from Tether. So here's what you need to know. Tether was given 103 plus million shares from Rumble in exchange for $775 million, which is pricing their shares at $7.50 a pop. Now, if you do some quick math on this, this was a very quick way for Tether on paper at least, to make about $300 million. That's how much this is up. Now, it's not like they could sell that right away, but I'm just saying this $775 million investment at $7.50 a pop, folks, we're trading at $10.13. So in one little announcement, up on paper about $300 million. So basically, so far, 103 million shares that were created, given to Tether. Tether gives Rumble $775 million. Out of this 775, you have to think of it in two different parts. The first part is $250 million. So you have chunk A, $250 million, and chunk B, the leftover $525 million. So chunk A, this $250 million, will be used to support growth initiatives. So basically, for Rumble to keep doing what Rumble does. The leftover $525 million are going to be used by Rumble to buy shares back off the market. So remember, they created 103 million shares, but they're going to be buying back 70 million. So obviously, this is a net creation of 33 million new shares, but in exchange for that, they're getting $250 million. So 103 created, 70 million going to be bought back. Obviously, this is all pending regulatory approval and whatnot, but this is what's referred to as a self-tender offer. This is Rumble buying back shares, and they're going to be buying them back at $7.50 a pop, and all Rumble people can take I guess advantage of this. They can participate in this. Obviously I personally won't be, because I want to hold my Rumble and I don't want to get out at 7.50 when it's currently trading at 10. But it will be interesting to see who does, especially these big players, when maybe Rumble has in terms of like the shares, it's hard to get in and out of big blocks. So I don't really necessarily have like any conjecture on this. We know that Chris can go up to 10 million. Just because he can go up to it doesn't mean that he will. Obviously, we can just wait for the SEC updates to see who is not just Chris, but other players. And like I said, it's not just the biggest people within the company. It's other people like you and I. We could all theoretically take part in this. I'm personally not. And as to who is going to, I don't know. We just kind of have to wait and see what's going to be happening. So with that, if you have thoughts, questions, comments, anything in that realm, Chris, the CEO of the company, will be coming on today's show around 10:30. So in about 1 hour, Chris will be coming onto the show. Very quickly, don't forget to sign up for locals. So that's how you get into the Discord. On Friday, I made $1,800. Here's proof of the play. And then obviously Piper crushed it as well. Around 10:30 in the morning, Piper fired off, what was it? A little bit of a bullish call out, 4 to 5 confidence. So for every $368 in your account, you could have returned 32. Obviously, if you're on locals, you get more than just being in the Discord. You get the newsletter where I break down the previous week, all the major macroeconomic events, and then the seasonality. This is probably the most usable, actionable thing in every single weekly newsletter is I give you the seasonality for each individual day. Today is one of the most bullish days of the entire year. The bulls over the past 25 years have won this individual day 76% of the time with a profit factor of 8.8. And this is a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at close and sold at the next close from Friday close, obviously, to today's close. Look at that. Long and strong. Not the most bullish day of the year, but it's actually a top 3, top 5 most bullish day. So is this a guarantee? No, the Bears have still won it 24% of the time. But I just want to let you know that historically, the Bulls have really, really, really been in control. So obviously, you can sign up. And if you're a supporter, which is a premium membership, that's how you get into the Discord. Your first month is free if you use that code Goonie. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have buttloads of fun. All right. One of the major things I'm paying attention to right now is the reversion in the overall market. So I'm watching the SPY, seeing what's going on there. I am expecting the SPY to pump all the way back up. I'm looking at the NASDAQ to pop all the way back up. And I'm actually looking at Bitcoin to pop all the way back up, which is the perfect time for me to talk about Ledger. Ledger, folks, it is December 23rd. As in, if you haven't gotten a Christmas present yet, a Hanukkah present, or any year-end present you need to do, this might be a perfect one for you. If you don't know what Ledger is, it's the most popular hardware wallet. I have mine right here. It's about the size of my palm. A hardware wallet is the way for you to safely secure your crypto. So if you've been in the crypto industry for any time, you know that there's scammers, there's hackers, there's companies that go out of business. You can avoid all of those potential downfalls by just being responsible and storing your crypto yourself. And that's exactly what these hardware wallets do. So Ledger is trusted by over 7 million people. It's been around for 10 years. It stores 20 to 25% of all digital assets in existence right now. This is the real deal. This is the real McCoy. And for this holiday, they are currently giving you an extra $70 of Bitcoin while supplies last. And that has to do with the Ledger Flex here. That's the one that I currently have. But they have, in terms of affordability, they have a whole range of options. So highly recommend you check this out. You could go to shop.ledger.com/cores. It is pinned to the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. I cannot stress this enough. The concept of not your keys, not your coin cannot be forgotten. If you have crypto, first of all, congrats, because crypto's been rippity skippity doodah, but you need to be responsible and store it properly so you aren't, I don't know, victim of a hacker, a scammer, or the downfall of the company. Not your keys, not your coin. Please, I'm begging of you, store your crypto yourself, and Ledger is a top tier way to do it. So check it out, shop.ledger.com/cores to get in on this deal. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And obviously, shout out to Ledger for partnering up with us. All right, so on the screen right now, you have the SPY in the green, you have the Q's in the green, you have Nvidia in the green, and rum is the belle of the ball today, up about 40%, trading just above $10. Wow, wow, wow. What I do want to show you related right about here, I want to show you the short interest on Rumble and then also what's going on with the options. So as of market open today, it is estimated that there's a 14.76% short interest, or about $91 million. So those shorts are not happy, because those shorts, no matter where they got in, they are now 43% worse off on this gigantic gap up. So that's one thing you need to know about. The other thing you need to know about is what I was alluding to before, and I know this gets a little bit more nerdy, but I do think it's really important. We are now in negative gamma, which means that as this thing gets moving, it can really get moving. I would actually anticipate that the velocity of it pick up, because right here you had a lot of positive gamma around 8, and then you have a lot of positive gamma around 10, and then it's over. And then it's pretty much clear sailing all the way up to 15. There's a little bit of a chunk here at 12, but the fact that we're over 10 right now, and knock on wood, at this moment in time, we're holding above 10, means that for these market makers to properly hedge their book as all new call buying starts to come in, this thing could get absolutely nuts. So if I come over here, I want to see. So rum's not on here, but we do have it on the equity hub. If you're on Spot Gamma, that's what I'm looking at. Where did it go? RUM. The other thing I need to show you is on what? Right here. So as of market close, the options were crazy cheap, and now you can see a giant spike in volatility, which is showing a spike in interest of what's going on. Here's a look at the term structure. Once again, IV going all haywire. There's a lot of eyeballs on this. That's the only way to explain it. And there's a nice positive call skew just going and going and going. So various things to look at from a short interest perspective, various things to look at from an options perspective, various things to look at even just from a fundamental update. This is a serious cash injection into the company that it's just going to clearly extend their runway. So it'll be interesting, and it's just going now. We're at $11. I mean, look at this thing. It is just ripping. Let's go to the weekly view. The next resistance I have is this high from Monday, basically halfway through June of 2023. I'm on the weekly view, and that high is at 1125. So that's the next major resistance I see. And if things go haywire today, I'm then looking all the way up at 1250, which is kind of the resistance from this downsloping trend line. So my first target right now is 1125. There might be a bit of a short-term reaction at the key psychological level of 11. It's just a whole dollar value. So I'm watching that. And then from there, I'd be watching 1250 from a technical perspective. From an options perspective, we're tilting past 10, which is kind of opening up the door from 15. So I'd be watching that from an options perspective. And then from a fundamental perspective, to be completely honest with you, I'm not doing anything because I'm invested in Rumble. Now, if you're joining in right now, Rumble's going absolutely haywire, and for good reason. It just had a huge partnership with Tether of $775 million. This was announced on Friday after the market closed. But I want to be clear. Yes, I am bullishly biased on Rumble. I have been for years. I don't want to hide that from anyone, but I also want to be clear. I am not an active trader. If you're an active trader, hey, I hope you crush it. I hope you get in at the right time. I hope you get out at the right time. It has good range, has good volatility right now. You could probably make good money. But for me, and what I see going on with Rumble, it seems like I want to be in this for many years to come. I like the direction of where the company is going. I like where it fits into the cultural zeitgeist. I like what's going on with the leadership team and the decisions they've been making. The most recent ones, signing Dr. Disrespect. That has to be a big deal. At least it is in my mind. He's a world-renowned trader, world-renowned content creator. I wish I was a world-renowned trader. So he's a world-renowned content creator, obviously within the gaming space. They have a strategic Bitcoin reserve that I believe it's up to $20 million. So they're more in crypto. They're even more in crypto now because of Tether. There's just a lot going on. I'm liking the decisions that's going on. Matt, are you in Rumble insider trader? That would be impossible because I don't have any insider information. And I also don't trade Rumble. I bought Rumble years ago, and that's all I've done. So, I guess I know is the answer because I don't have insider information. I only have the public information that you guys have. And on top of that, I don't trade it. So inherently, I can't be an insider trader if I'm not trading it. I literally just sit on my shares of Rumble. And that's what I'm talking about is I'm a long-term investor. So there's certain things like AMC and GME and Doge and Shiba that I would argue were great active trades. I think in your mind, you have to know what you're doing. Are you actively trading or are you investing? For me, Rumble is an investment because I think given enough time that it'll be a serious competitor to a lot of the mainstream media and to a lot of the big social media that we've known for the past couple of years. I think Rumble, I honestly believe my investment and also just being on Rumble as a content creator, I feel like I'm in on the ground floor and I'm just going to ride this thing for potentially multiple decades. So like where I see Rumble going, it's not like, yes, I see this and it's very exciting to me because I'm invested in Rumble. I love being up 43% in one overnight session. That's awesome. But it doesn't matter. Like the day to day, the week to week, the month to month, the quarter to quarter, that movement doesn't matter to me. Of course, I want it to the upside, but I'm looking at where this thing is going in 10 to 20 years. So I want to be clear on my time frame about that. Clear on my time frame. Now, you can make money being an investor or being an active trader. There are multiple examples of people. Piper, we talked about this. Piper. She's just crying. She's missing you guys. We talked about this multiple times, but I do think it's important to, I guess, clarify what you're doing. And like I said, you can make a lot of money doing either, being an active trader or being an investor. But I think it's very, very important in your mind to be clear per trade or per transaction what you're doing. Matt is being paid by Rumble. That's as fucking stupid as saying I'm being paid by Twitter or YouTube. Of course, I'm a content creator. When you put content on platforms, they run ads on it and you get paid. So do I get paychecks from Rumble? Yeah. I also get paychecks from Twitter. I also get paychecks from YouTube. I also still actually get paychecks from Twitch. I get paychecks from your mom, dude. I don't know. Like that is such a brain. Of course I get paid by them. You think I'm putting content everywhere just out of the goodness of my heart? Sometimes I do it out of the goodness of my heart and I don't run ads on it, but how do you think I pay for my bills? How do you think I pay for my crappy trades? It's called running a content business. I get paid by TikTok. I get paid by them. Welcome to business. I didn't know we had to clarify that, but I didn't know. Maybe you guys didn't know that's how business runs. But yeah, actually, wherever you're seeing me at all, if you guys see me on social media, there's a good chance I'm being paid by that social media. So like, I didn't know I had to clarify that. I thought that was just kind of like a basic, well-known thing. Matt is paid by China. No, that's one that I'm not paid by. I kind of wish I were, dude. Those guys have some deep pockets. China and or Saudi Arabia. If we have any dictatorship money or if we have any oil money, dude, let's let me know, folks. Let me know. At this point in time, I can earnestly say I've not been paid by a country or any political party anywhere in the world. But one of these days, I'll have ideally enough influence that they'll come knocking. But at this point, I'm just stuck in the world of my social media overlords at this point. But maybe one of these days, I'll have enough influence to do something with my life. Oh, okay. The SPY... not really doing anything, just hanging out at the red-green move. The Qs are in the green, but they're also just not doing anything. Rumble had that strong push up to almost $11, got as high as what, $10.95, currently trading at $10.24. Like I said, this is the bell of the ball today. I did get an AVGO breakout, or I got an alert. Is it breaking out or is it breaking down? Oh, AVGO... oh, it is. Okay. AVGO is looking pretty good. I want to see that return all the way up to 240. Palantir hit a new all-time high today at 82.02. Tesla, not doing much right now. Strong bullish push, just having a little bit of consolidation. Looking for this to get back up to 447, around 450. DJT, I'm looking for this to put in a higher low and then push its way up to 40. We know there's quite a bit of options action on DJT around 40. So until that gamma falls off, I think that's going to be kind of a big resistance level. Now, obviously, if it breaks through it, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. But you got to wait. Rumble flies you places for interviews and events a lot different than a standard creator. A lot of those I'm paying for myself. Like when I go out to Vegas and stuff with them, folks, that's on your boy. If it makes you feel comfortable, I could post a picture of my credit card payment. But when I when I go to Nashville, like I bought my tickets, I bought my hotel. Like I think there's like a large misconception of not even just like my relationship with these social media platforms, but I think there's generically a misconception of how some of this stuff works. But also, Matt is paid by MySpace. Dude, I wish. That's the one that, dude, if Tom came knocking and he said jump, I would say how high. He's the guy that I guess did it right. Write that shit off? Of course I do. Yeah, it's a business expense, and I don't mind it at all. Because when I go do those things, you meet other people to continue to grow your network, to potentially make new content. I learn a lot from these people. Even at the events, like for example, I went with Rumble to a Power Slap event. And when I was there, just the amount of people I got to meet and talk to them of like how they view content and their ideas and how they run their business, it's all super, super informative. But that's just an aspect of running business. And like, I'm always so grateful to be invited to those things. Yeah, of course. So it's always fun. It's always a blast. They always treat me super, super well. And I kind of knew that from the start. I mean, maybe some of you guys are new and you forget of why I even got onto Rumble. But the story of it is because I was taken off of YouTube, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. And the pitch from Chris, the CEO of Rumble, to me was, hey, why don't you mirror all of your content onto our platform? As in when you put up content anywhere, also put it up here. And we promise to not just randomly take you down. As long as you're following our terms of service, you're going to be good on our platform. And I was literally in the middle of being taken down 3 separate times, terminated, completely nuked my channel. I was like, oh, wow, that's a great pitch. So I just started putting my content there. And at first, there was no deal whatsoever. I just liked the concept. I liked what was going on. And that must have been August of 21 was when I first started putting stuff on Rumble. So I've been on it since mid 2021. And at that point, there was no partnership or business deal or anything like that. I did it to protect myself. Like 100%. Chris DM'd me. He's like, hey, we have a video sharing platform and we care about your right to free speech. And as long as you don't violate any of our terms of service, you never have to worry about anything. I was like, okay, cool. And literally like within days, I made a channel and just started uploading all my content there just to protect myself. Now, since then, they've treated me way better than I ever imagined. And I get to do really cool things and talk to really cool people. And I like to think it's mutually beneficial to the both of us. I like being a major finance creator for them. And I love that they treat me so well and basically protect me. Like, I mean, as a content creator, I don't think people really appreciate the risk that you could put years into a business and then if that platform just completely murks you, you're gone forever. You can work on growing your channel and your brand for years and years and years. And we're seeing it in real time. Actually, a big person just got nixed on YouTube and nothing. There's nothing you could do about it. You just sit there and years of work just completely gone. So the initial pitch to Rumble from Rumble really resonated with me. And then since then, yeah, I get to do really cool stuff. And I'm always super appreciative because this is something that you guys don't really get to see. But obviously, we'll be interviewing Chris today, and Chris is a great guy. The other content creators, I've been fortunate enough to meet people like Dan Bongino, Russell Brand. But I think one thing that you guys don't really get to see because it's just not like a content facing thing. But obviously, there's a whole like employee workforce behind Rumble, like the just people making, I don't like how to like the production team, the event team, like the logistics team, like there's just the security team. There's a lot of people that you guys just don't maybe think about because they're not on the camera, so you don't get to see them. And those people at Rumble, dude, they're so nice. Like they're some of the nicest. You know, some people are like frustratingly nice, and you wonder like why, like what happened in your life that you're such a ray of sunshine when the rest of us are just like angry about everything. Honestly, my major thought about why they're so nice is I think they're getting too much vitamin D, or maybe on a relative basis when I'm in cold, dreary, painful New York, and then they're in Florida, and it's just vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. That's my big thesis of why they're so nice to everyone. And I just don't even know if I have it possible like in my system anymore, because I'm just so vitamin D deficient, while they're there like solar panels every day, just recharging with happiness. That's my conspiracy theory, but I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that one out. But anyway, I am feeling a little bit more happy and optimistic just because this thing is going. Like I said, $11, that's a psychological level. From there, $11.25 is the big technical level. And then after $11.25, I know this is crazy to say, I'm watching $12.50. And after $12.50, the next options level is suggesting is actually all the way up to 15. So there is a lot to be talking about, but we're actually literally coming up to that $11.25. This thing is just, it's ripping. Now, if I already see questions like, is this a squeeze? That's a really tough thing to answer. I know there's technically $91 million bet against Rumble, so those people aren't happy, but I don't know if those people are actually closing out. They might be, they might not be. It could be a portion of this buying could be short squeeze. It is going to definitely relate a lot to the options market, because as it goes up, we're in negative territory, negative gamma territory. So as it goes up, the market makers, to hedge their book, are actually going to have to buy more shares of Rum. So you have a little bit of a gamma squeeze. And also the fact that it's up 59%, it also just, that's FOMO. That's excitement. There's people who've never heard of Rumble before that right now they're getting all the announcements on their trading platforms and breakout alerts. They're like, oh, okay, like what's going on? So they're in real time diving into the news, and you're seeing the excitement. So whether you have FOMO buying, you have an option squeeze, aka gamma squeeze, you have maybe a little bit of short squeeze, they all kind of interact with each other. So to say like that it's all one or the other, I just don't think that is necessarily appropriate. Is Matt promoting Rumble for personal gains? Fuck yes. Subscribe to my Rumble. Get on locals. I would love for you to directly support me on Rumble, and then that would be a personal gain to me, not only in terms of social media and my wallet, but just like my mental state, for sure. We just hit 100,000. Yes, I am. Get on Rumble. Rumble.com, and the first thing you better do is search Matt Cord. I'll actually, no, dude, personal gain. Let's take this to the next level. Here's what you do. You go to rumble.com, rumble.com. You come here. This is what you do. And then the first thing you do is type in Matt Kors, and you spell it properly, and then you find me. I'm this one, Matt Kors, 100,000. Yes. 100%. Smash that button until you break your mouse, and then take it to the next level and break your finger. 100%. This is a personal gain to me, and I would love it. Absolutely love it. Once again, Kors is Kohrs. Rumble is Rumble. Put it all together. Go do Rumble first and then type in Kors. 100%. Like, dude, who is this guy? John, you are a special type of something. Hit it. Hit those. Hit it. Let's go from 100,000. Next big goal is 250,000. This shit's ripping. And you can't cry about it, because I've been telling you about this thing. At points it was sub 5. I think my average is in the low 7s. I think my average, I want to say, is either 720 or 740. I've bought multiple times on different brokerages. Once again, it's a long-term investment for me, but my investment's around, it's either 720 or 740. It's in the low 7s. I want to say 720 is roughly my average across all of my accounts where I'm in on Rumble. So for me, I am currently up about actually, because we closed at 719 on Friday, which means that whatever percentage we're up right now is basically how much my investment is actually up. So I'm up about 60% in real time. How many do you have? I have thousands of shares. I don't know, like I said, because I bought it. Some are in my long-term like investment retirement account. Other ones are on public. Other ones are on Streetbeat. So I own it in different ones, so I'd have to add it together. I own, I know it's not over 10,000 shares. I know I own thousands of shares. It's not over 10,000, and it's definitely way more than 1,000. I don't know the exact number because I've purchased that multiple times on different accounts for just various reasons. And the most recent ones have honestly just been in my long-term, like my personal Roth IRA. I was like, oh, well, if I'm going to be in this for like decades, I might as well just put it in a tax sheltered account. So at first I wasn't doing it in my Roth IRA, and then I realized that was stupid. So then all my recent purchases have been in a Roth IRA, but that's for me. That's my own personal decision. Obviously do what you want. There's no open interest on options. There definitely is. We just went over it. We definitely just went over it. There's a huge spike in open interest because of this announcement. This thing's cruising. Like I said, the next major level that I'm watching on Rumble is 1250. That happens to be a technical level. You can see it more easily on the weekly chart. Just this downsloping line from early 22 to, I guess, you have also end of 22. This is, I believe, when the SPAC deal. Oh, no, the SPAC deal went in 21. Was it in 21? Is that how many years ago this one? Was my time frame getting all messed up? Regardless, I'm watching this trend line breakout right here around 1250. So we took out important resistance at 1080. We took out important resistance at 1125. The next major level is right here at 1250. That's what I'll be watching today. And then past 1250, I mean, we literally might just be going to this right now. This thing is just squeezing. Told you guys about it. We've been in this for a bit. And I think this is one of the major stocks that no one should be surprised on, like a victory of Trump. Depending on who was elected the next president, I'm talking about Harris or Trump, obviously there's a certain basket of stocks that are overperform and ones that are under going to perform. And right now with Rumble, I think that was a natural one to overperform. And so I think not only in the short term is this exciting with the announcement, but I think there's going to be a lot of cool developments over Trump's presidency, basically the next 4 years, that could directly relate to Rumble, just because Trump is much more along the lines of giving a shit about free speech and not having like kind of an authoritarian big tech setup in this country. So since Rumble is specifically, okay, let's look at the powers and influences of big tech and let's actually like take up the mantle of fighting for free speech. I think this is a natural one to do well. Other stocks that I think are going to do well, if you're just looking for like a host of them that I think could do super well over the next 4 years. One of the most evident ones is obviously DJT. This is Trump's company. So DJT, Rumble, Tesla, those are the first three that really jump out to me. After that, I would be calling out Bitcoin, really crypto as a whole. So you could look at Bitcoin, you could look at IBIT, you could look at things like MSTR, you could look at other things such as Coin, Mara, Riot. Those are all in the crypto sphere. I think right now with the new SEC chairman, Atkins, and then also just Trump's personal support of crypto, I think Bitcoin's going to be a big winner. So you have DJT, you have RUM, you have TSLA, you have Bitcoin. Another one is actually Palantir, where I believe things are going to be going in terms of this company's positioning with defense and contracts. I think Palantir is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Actually, I think the same is going to be true about Microsoft with OpenAI. So those are the first ones that really come to my mind. In my mind, the president-elect basket, like the basket of stocks that I think are going to do very well over the next 4 years is exactly this. DJT, RUM, TSLA, PLTR, MSFT, NVDA, and Bitcoin. Those seven. If I really think about it, there's probably a couple more you could add on there, but I'm very, very confident in those six stocks, and then one's a cryptocurrency. So 6 stocks and 1 cryptocurrency for the next 4 years. I have a strong feeling that particular basket of 7 is going to dramatically outperform on the 4-year period the overall market. I might be right. I might be wrong, but I feel very, very confident that that particular basket of 7 things, even on an equal weighted level, I think is going to dramatically outperform the SPY on the 4-year period. So we're going to see. What do you think of Peter Schiff? I think he's been dramatically wrong on Bitcoin. And I mean, gold's up, but Bitcoin's up a lot more. Bitcoin's up a whole heck of a lot more. Very quickly, the 5-minute and the 10-minute and actually the 30-minute on the S&P 500 are in the bearish territory. The 5-minute and the 10-minute are attempting to go green on the NASDAQ. The 30-minute is green. So a little bit of a mismatch today between the overall market, the S&P 500, and then also the NASDAQ. So I'm watching for either the NASDAQ to fall or for the SPY to pick up, but right now, very indecisive. Obviously, the fun watch of the day thus far has directly been Rumble. I should actually make that as a standalone video so I could come back to it in 1, 2, 3, and in 4 years. But like I said, I think those are the 7 that I'm very, very excited for. Now, obviously, I don't have the ability to tell you the future, but I think in terms of probabilities, that the probability is strongly favoring the success of those 7 things that I just named. Are you trading futures today? I actually already did late last night. I got my trade in. I made $300 per account, and I don't really feel like pushing it. I mean, I'm on a nice tear. I'm up $16,000 on all 20 accounts, which is what? I'm up $320,000 in 2 trading weeks right here. 66, 60, like they're all up 66. So I'm up just over $320,000 in 2 trading weeks. I don't feel the need to pressure it, like especially on a day where, like right now, I see that the SPY is bearish, but then the Qs are bullish. I don't like that mismatch. I already got my trade in for the day. So like probably not. Like I might do it, but I'm just not seeing an opportunity. Actually, to not even tempt myself, I should just shut this down. So yeah, so late last night, I made about 6K, and then I was wondering if I was going to see a good setup this morning. I'm not. I don't like the mismatch between the SPY and the Qs, and if I'm being honest with you, I'm just really excited. Ooh, RUM, massive breakout right here. Oh, I guess I should call this out to all of you. This video is on Rumble. It's also on YouTube, but if you go to my content, I did a full video breakdown. Breaking news, Rumble secures massive $775 million partnership. So if you want that, obviously it's already been pretty popular on Rumble, about 75,000 views. So check that out. But that video is up on Rumble. It is up on YouTube, breaking down what this deal is, what it isn't. And honestly, we're probably about to get an additional layer of information, because in about 30 minutes, the CEO of Rumble will be coming onto the show to chit chat with us about what the deal means, what it doesn't mean, and kind of how he envisions the partnership moving forward. So obviously prepare your questions, because we're going to be able to talk to him live about this whole ordeal. But from a technical perspective, I was telling you 1250 is my next level. If it breaks and holds 1250, my next level is actually all the way up here at 15. There might be some stops in the way there. Okay, I mean, I would say that this is a pretty obvious one. 1355, we had kind of a shelf here. So resistance, support, resistance. So if we break and hold 1250, I think the next obvious target is 1350. And then from there, I'll be watching 1515. I am getting that value from paying attention to where I write I need to log back in. Oh, Equity Hub right here. I'm just looking at hang on. Why is this slow? This Rumble. History. Where are the right here? So we're already breaking this. This is a lot of positive gamma. We're already breaking 10, and then the next one's all the way up here at 15. And then after that, there's nothing in sight. This is sailing on clear blue ocean, nothing in the sky. So this would be the next major thing I'm watching. There's quite a bit of gamma there. And then after that, if this breaks and is above 15, there's nothing to stop her. That is just a beautiful technical breakout, options breakout. The $100 million betting against the company is getting blown out of the water. Those shorts are screwed. So this is the reason why I keep calling out 15. So I think there's important things to watch on the technical level, and I also think there's important things to watch on the options level. So that 15 that I keep calling out to you, please understand that is coming from the world of options. Very, very important. The SPY not doing a whole heck of a lot. The Q's not doing a whole heck of a lot. What else is having NVIDIA's having a decent day. ASML's Broadcom's having a good day, up 4.6%. I'm not complaining about that one. You know who's not complaining about this generic season? Freaking Mariah Carey. How much money does Mariah Carey make from All I Want for Christmas Is You? The answer is it's a lot. But how much is that actually? The 1994 holiday hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, rakes in millions of dollars per year. It is estimated that the Yuletide jingle has earned $103 million globally since its debut from sources like streaming, album sales, and song downloads. Billboard estimated that the Queen of Christmas herself made at least $2.7 million in 2022. So if you fast forward to 2023, 2024, I would say we're probably north of $3.5 million from this one song that she gets every single year. Talk about freaking passive income. So the TLDR there is Mariah Carey absolutely crushes it. Absolutely crushes it. All right. As we're waiting to see if Rumble's going to break and hold 1250, waiting to see if you're trading the SPY, the overall market today, you might want to wait and see if we break this trend line. Right there, I'd be kind of watch. That's probably the useful trend line to watch, this down-sloping trend line. Same thing on the Qs. A bullish breakout of that, I would say, depending on the most recent swing, might be a good opportunity. But right now, we're seeing clearly lower highs and lower lows. The 5-minute and the 10-minute and the 30-minute are bearish on the SPY. The 5-minute and the 10-minute, and actually now the 30-minute. So the bears are starting to gain a little bit of short-term control. Will it hold? It is fighting seasonality. Please don't forget that this is like a top 5 bullish day from a seasonal perspective. So I'm not really looking for a bearish setup today. I don't want to be fighting seasonality, but also the EMAs are telling us that the bears are in control. So as we're waiting to see how this degeneracy ends up really playing out, there's a video I want to watch with you. Let's talk about options degeneracy and what is now being classified as the quote unquote crack cocaine of the markets. And I have to admit, when watching this, I do feel a little bit personally attacked.
Our next guest says a new type of addict is showing up to Gamblers Anonymous.
You know, people think we do have all these things.
I do have. It's the same person as my stylist and my assistant and my boss. It's all the same person.
All the same person.
Yeah. No.
All right, hang on one second, folks. Looks like we're actually switching up our schedule a little bit. It sounds like Chris is coming on early. All right, let me make sure that we are all set up. Hang on. Hold tight with me, team. Hold tight. It looks like we're going from 10:30 to just about now. So let me get all the info I need to get. What is today? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? How do I send this? Let me make sure. Why can I not do this on my phone? Looks like we are pivoting to be a little bit early. Let me see. We are good here. We are good here. All right. We are good with this. All right. We are good with this. All right. We're doing a little bit of a pivot, folks. This is what it looks like to do things in real time. All right, and let me just make sure. Let me just send this. Let me make sure. I just want to make sure I'm on the right link that I'm sending to Mr. Chris Pavlovsky. Ready to. Let me. How do I copy and paste this link? Oops. How do I do this? How do I do it from my phone? All right. We're going to have to do it from the backup computer, folks. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it. Uh-oh. Spying Q's getting that vomit. Uh-oh. It looks like he's already in. Wait a second. Why are we on different... Dude, sometimes Zoom here. All I want for Christmas. All right. I got it. It should be good. Why is he? Yes. Chris, Merry Christmas. Looks like we're coming a couple days early. Congratulations. The stock is ripping right now. I'm peeking Rumble over here. Ripping. We're trading at 11:30. It was as high as 12:50. Obviously, all on this gigantic news of a brand new partnership with Tether. So first of all, congratulations. Second of all, thank you for taking time out of your, I assume, very, very busy holiday schedule to be chatting with all of us. How are you feeling right now? I mean, this has to be a special level of holiday dopamine for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. It's pretty wild. Is my audio coming in good?
Yep, perfect. Look good, sound good. Ooh, I like the
Perfect.
rocket in the back there with Rumble.
Yeah, I like that too. No, it's been great. It's you can't go into a Christmas season any better. Bringing on a partner like Tether is it's unbelievable. We have an enormous backer now, a huge share, like a huge partner, and what will be a huge shareholder in this company. So couldn't be more excited. This is a great Christmas week.
Yeah, definitely. So with it, obviously there's some questions of how you envision this partnership going on a larger scale of just like, we know not that long ago, big announcement with Bitcoin. It looks like you guys are considering the concept of a Bitcoin treasury up to $20 million there. This is once again, I suppose, just strengthening your ties to the world of crypto. For those of you who don't know, Tether, probably the most well-known stable coin, a big supporter of Bitcoin, but it's been in the crypto space forever. I was reading up on a little bit. I believe it's used by 350 million different people. So very, very well known. So on the larger scale, before we get into the numbers and the movement, all that, how do you see this going forward with the partnership in the crypto sphere?
Well, I've been pushing decentralization. I think that's even on my bio and on X for the last like decade. So it's been something that I've been huge on for a very long time. And when the Trump admin came to power and won the election, it was the time to step on the gas pedal, because like it was very obvious where they were going with that. And now with a new administration that's going to be like overly friendly to the crypto world and overly friendly to Bitcoin, it was very imperative that Rumble started leaning into that community as much as possible, and not just be politics, and start leaning into other different genres, gaming as well. And so gaming and crypto were my two major focuses post-election. And then we stepped on the gas. That's as soon as he won, we stepped on the gas. I went to the board. I said I want to do a Bitcoin treasury strategy, and we approved that. And in Q1 we'll provide further updates on that. But that was our first kind of like big move there. And then we've been shopping around for partners and looking for partners to do integrations. And then we had Tether knock on our door, and boom, Friday we announced the Tether deal. So it couldn't have been any better. We couldn't have had a better partner. When you look at the crypto world, like they're the biggest. I don't know who's really bigger than them in terms of what they do. Their ethos and what they believe in around free speech and freedom of expression is unmatched with any other company. What company out there is closer to decentralization and free speech and freedom than a company like Tether? I can't even think of one. And when meeting them, they were so aligned with what we do and what we believe in. It was the perfect marriage. It couldn't have been any better. There couldn't be a better partner for Rumble to partner up with, and there couldn't be someone that I would want on our cap table more than Tether. Like this is this is the best it gets, I think, in terms of finding a partner for Rumble that matches our ethos and matches the strategy that we have going forward. And I'm so pumped to walk into 2025 with a new partner, and having one of the biggest and well capitalized partners out there is puts us in a really strong driving seat. And I cannot wait to see what happens in 2025.
Oh, I think all of us are very excited for the upcoming year. I have a bit of a smirk here because it's funny that you said right after the election, early November, roughly 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, you're like, okay, at that point, we need to kind of do pedal on the metal situation. So since then, a potential Bitcoin treasury, you're announced one of the most world-renowned gaming streamers, Dr. Disrespect. Now this $775 million from Tether. So like, it's funny when people say we're doing like pedal to the metal, like we're just going to hit the gas. And like, here you are, Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious, like ripping it. So I don't know if this is your tryout for the next movie to be there with Vin and The Rock. And you're like, dude, I drive faster. I don't know what's going on, but you're on a heater.
Stop. It's not going to stop. Like,
Man.
I am going as hard as I can. I really believe in this company more than people know. Like I see us really taking out a real market share out of YouTube in a massive way. And I really see that happening on the cloud. I am so optimistic right now. And yeah, it's all about speed and momentum for me right now. And I'm going to just drive, and I am not going to stop. And you kind of seen that after the election. We're in this state, like, what's going to happen? Can we have global ambitions? Can we go internationally? Because if Trump lost, that might have been off the table, international expansion. Now Trump won, international expansion is on the table, and it's like pedal to the metal now. Like, let's go internationally. He's going to be exporting American values across the world, and like having a partner like Tether who literally exports American values across the world couldn't be better. A lot of people ask about Tether, like, what are they? What do they do? And the best way to put it is, if you're in Argentina, or if you're in India, or if you're in a different country and you have like high inflation and you're really worried about your currency, most of these people are moving and they want US dollars. And the way they access US dollars is basically using something like USD Tether. And that's where, Tether is very popular. So what happens when that happens? When they buy a USDT, and someone in, let's say, Argentina, USDT is then buying US treasuries. They're buying our debt. That is not a better way of exporting American values around the world than what Tether is doing. So not only do they have that, exporting of American values in their ethos by buying US treasuries, but they also believe in decentralization, transparency, free speech. When I met these guys were like the most free speech guys I've ever met. Like, I've sat with a lot of large corporations, and everyone is kind of like wishy-washy when it comes to free speech. These guys, not wishy-washy. Not at all.
That's awesome to
They
hear.
actually really believe in what we're doing, and they really want to back it. They came to me, and the process was unbelievable. They came to me. They expressed they wanted to buy as much as Rumble as they could. Think about that. That's incredible. So every insider was given the right to sell as much as they wanted. And 70 million shares is the most I could find. That was the most that I could find. So to put it simply, that cleans up our cap table in a major way. We have like, guys like Tether now that are going to own a significant portion of Rumble. And, they also believe in this company in a major, major way. So like, to me, this is this is super exciting. We also get to put $250 million on our balance sheet to expand cloud, look at strategic acquisitions, things like that. And we're doing a $525 million tender offer to public shareholders and insiders. So it couldn't be better. It's like, this is I really think we have something really special here, and having a team now like Tether that backs Rumble, that will own a big portion of Rumble. I couldn't be any happier and any more excited. This is putting a rocket pack on the back of Rumble, and I can't wait to see how high we go, because it's going to be, I really think we're going to take a big chunk of market share, both on the cloud side, on AWS, and on the YouTube side. I really see it. And we have partners that are going to help us enable us get there.
Yeah, and even that newest partner, Tether, I mean, I know they can't get out right now, but just in this quote unquote 1 day gain, back of the napkin math, I think they're clearing about 400 mil on this investment. So they're definitely not crying at all. It's definitely going to be a good Christmas for them. Speaking of like kind of back of the napkin math, when you guys first went public, I believe like in your coffers from the SPAC deal, it was about $380-ish million. I believe now from the cash you had plus this new 250 million, you guys are basically once again topped off. Like I think a lot of the investing public, when they think of a newer company, they're like, oh, how bad's their debt situation? What's their cash flow? Blah, blah, blah. You guys, not only don't you have debt, but I believe you're practically filled back up to when you initially started. Like it's a great runway. Am I right on this?
Yeah, and it's way different. So, Forbes ran an article on Friday saying we're running out of cash. How hilarious is that? First of all, that wasn't true last week, and it's definitely not true today. It's completely wrong. We're in a if you take a look at our cash position, it's been going down and down and down, and it's going to continuously, as we said, we're moving continuously to materially to break adjusted EBITDA breaking. Sorry, I got to get the words right.
Yeah,
but
all those acronyms.
It's a little bit of a mouthful, but we're moving to adjusted EBITDA break even materially in 2025. That is happening, and that we've said that on every earnings call. To say that we're running out of cash is preposterous. That's so far from the truth. And then on Friday, after we announced this deal, clearly that's definitely not the case. And now not even people that are questioning us can question it. But it definitely tops us off. It's not cash. We didn't need the cash. It's very advantageous though for us to look at strategic acquisitions and grow this business. So we saw a real strategy in doing that. But the majority of this is a tender offer. It's not to put on, it's not for Rumble. It's to buy from the public or insiders. So it's for me, it puts us in a really, really strong position. Now that we have this cash, we're in a way different position than we were when we went public. When we were public, we didn't know what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. We didn't have the monetization engines. We didn't have our cloud. Now we have everything. We know exactly what works and what doesn't. We know how to spend money and how that's going to return. So we're in a very, very, very different position with this cash. There's not going to be testing per se, like in exploring to try to figure out what works and what doesn't work. We're going to be strategically deploying cash that's going to have real impact to this business. And that's the big difference from 2022 to 2024. So I that's what makes me super excited, is that we get to deploy this cash in a way that we're a lot more intelligent on how we're going to do it. Whereas like in 2022, we had to still deploy this cash to build our cloud, deploy this cash to build our advertising system, deploy this cash to find creators and diversify. Now we know which creators work. We already built everything. Now let's just put the money in and make the money back. So it's a different scenario. It's we're going to be flush in cash, and we have all the intelligence and data to be able to execute properly with it now.
So with all of that, obviously very exciting, and that makes sense because a lot of that initial, I guess, just pile of money was used to build quite a bit, and now, like you said, like you've already built a lot, so inherently it's not like an apples to apples comparison. But as the captain of this ship, obviously, I don't think it's publicly available. It'll be coming publicly available. Clearly, there's going to be a shift in the cap table. And I do want to clarify, if you guys look at the official announcement here, and once again, Chris, please correct me if I'm wrong, because this is very important. I believe you control a super majority. So this cap table shift, you're still in control. Like, you're the major guy who gets to captain this. It's not like you're giving up really into that. But underneath you on the cap table, there's clearly going to be shifts here. With that, can you offer, I guess, insights of your opinion on this cap table shift? That is, I suppose it's just waiting regulatory approval.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of process. The tender we have to go through this process and then tender, and then we'll kind of see how that cap table shifts at the end of this process. But yeah, in terms of like what it could look like, you could have the three biggest shareholders would be myself, Tether, and Dan Bongino.
Okay.
And you know that can change depending on how this tender process goes and what ends up happening. But on my side, I'm not giving up control. I'm staying as I'm keeping the majority of voting shares, and I'm not giving that up. It was important to me. Like, I wouldn't have done the deal otherwise if I had to give up control. So it was very, very important that I kept control, and I kept moving forward with this company. I really believe in it. I wasn't here to sell the whole company off. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to see this through, and I want to build something amazing. And I really want to beat YouTube and AWS now. So I have that chip on my shoulder, and that's what I'm driving towards. And I want to lead that. I'm still the CEO. I'm still the chairman of the board, and I'm still the majority. I have the majority of voting shares, and I'll be one of the largest shareholders still. So it's it's that's what I was driving home for here. And in terms of the shift of the cap table, we'll see how that all kind of pans out over the next 30 days. But on my side, I demanded that basically I stay in control, and I run this ship. And they fully believe in that. They fully believe in what I'm doing. They fully believe in the mission. The process with them was unbelievable. They're so aligned that it couldn't be more aligned. So I think this just unleashes Rumble. It unleashes me. It lets me really drive forward on everything that we need to do to make a real run at the big guys here.
I don't want to gloss over this because I know from the investing universe, it's actually way larger. So if you look at something like video versus cloud computing, depending on the metrics you look at, might even be 10x larger. So I understand with Rumble, it's easy to think of it in terms of, oh, it's content creating because that's like what we visually see. But a lot of these things, the behind the scenes from a business perspective is way larger. So even in this conversation, you're alluding to potentially competing with AWS. I don't know what you can or can't publicly say right now, but like from just a dollar standpoint, getting into cloud is like arguably the potential of it is way larger than video in itself. So I guess what can you now publicly say about the potential, I guess, new pillar of business for Rumble?
So yeah, we launched cloud earlier this year. So it's still in its infancy. And with cloud, it's a lot different. You can't just bring a creator on overnight like we did with the doc. It takes time to like move people over, bid on the process, etc. So it's a little bit of a slower moving business unit, but it's also one that recurs and builds, and it builds over time. So in terms of how big it can be, like obviously this is a $100 billion market plus AWS, Microsoft Azure, Oracle, and Google Cloud kind of own the whole market at this point. So we obviously want to take a percent of that. I wouldn't discount video though. Video is a massive market. If you look at YouTube, it is a 40-50 billion dollar business on the revenue side. So cloud obviously bigger, but not so much bigger. So I think what video allows us to do, it allows us to compete in cloud in a way that no one else can. That when you have like this huge throughput capacity, huge live streaming and coding capacity, huge storage capacity, it gives you a lot of excess capacity. And that excess capacity, you can then go sell to people at very high margin. So that's the beauty of having a cloud bolted onto Rumble. And that's why we attacked it. We also attacked it because it was existential to Rumble in the last 4 years. You're always worried what the government can do. You're always worried what the stores were going to do. And those worries are now completely gone. But in that process, it forced us to build a cloud and create a beautiful business that is in excess of our video business. So for me, I really like that business because I think it's really stable. It doesn't have as much volatility, and it really builds over time. And there's a real need for a competitor in that space. It's an oligopoly that controls the cloud business, and it needs more competition on pricing. And Rumble is going to offer that competition on pricing. And obviously, we have a much better track record and history of not screwing around with customers like these other companies have on the cloud business. We all remember Parler. So, our track record and history and our ethos alone, and our ethos in the crypto world, like think about this now that we're partnered with Tether. Like if you're a crypto company, who do you want to work with? Amazon or Rumble?
Yeah.
Like, it's to me, it's like it's a no-brainer now. Like we're going to really go after that crypto world, and we think there's a real opportunity for us there on the cloud side. And yeah, but I really don't want to discount video because it is a really gigantic business once the advertisers start coming in and start buying. And I really believe now that we have a new administration and things are moving in a different direction, you know, we're we're at the ground floor. Like, the advertisers that we have are, I don't want to say anything negative about them, but like they're paying the lowest rates. It can, if, in my view, it only goes up if the brands come in. So, there's a lot. We're at the floor, whereas the ceiling is really high right now. So for me, there's a lot of room to go up. And with the new administration coming, that's a huge bullish signal on corporate America. They have to they have to give up on this woke stuff. They got to give up on what they've been doing over the last 4 to 10 years, and they're going to need to advertise in front of audiences that are on Rumble. Like Rumble's the majority now. They're not the minority. It's the majority of America. They Rumble is not. It's never been what people were saying on the left, and it never is, and it still isn't now. And now with this, now with our moving gaming and our moving crypto, like we're really not political anymore. I think this completely shifts the branding and perception of Rumble in a major way. Like I think for the very first time I saw on X, I think it was like 2 days ago, oh, Rumble's only politics and gaming. I'm like, whoa.
The
I haven't seen
and
that
yeah,
before, gaming. Did you add gaming in there? We're politics and gaming. That's all we are. I'm like, wow, that's an improvement from like 6 months ago.
So funny.
It's like it's kind of like a little bit of a compliment,
Yeah.
like whereas I think they were looking at it as a dig, and I was like, it's working. It's finally working. We're expanding into different categories. I think you can now say Rumble is going to be, a lot of politics, a lot of gaming, and a lot of financial stuff now with crypto and the financial world. So I think like those are the three categories I really wanted to drift into before I didn't expect to do it before the end of the year, but it all kind of came together before the end of the year. I was thinking this is a 2025 strategy, but we're moving a lot faster than even I thought we would be. So, I couldn't be happier for where we are right now and how we're leaving this year. It truly was the Super Bowl.
Yep.
We've won the Super Bowl in 2024. I fully believe that. And now it's time to show what we can do in 2025 and really broaden the horizon for Rumble.
I love this talk of just the room, the potential, sky's the limit, how high is the ceiling, cool stuff. One final thing, because I'm getting asked it quite a bit. Do you have any, I suppose, initial thoughts if I were to tell you right now there's $100 million bet against your company?
When people bet against me, it drives a fire in me to prove them wrong. I kind of relish in that. It's since I was a little kid, when my parents told me I couldn't do something, I always wanted to do the opposite. And like, being even now, watching people say, we're gonna run out of cash. Oh yeah, you think that's gonna happen? Let me show you. Those things drive me. It only emboldens me, and it only pushes me harder, faster, and makes me work 10 times more. It's like it's a good thing that people say that to me, because obviously I don't like it, but it's something that drives me. It really tests me in a major way. And I I like that pressure, because I love proving people wrong. I love showing that we can do incredible things. It's pretty sad that there's that much pent up. If that's true, I don't even know what's true when it comes to shorting. It's like I've heard so many things over the last year, naked shorting and all this stuff. And I've talked to so many people and trying to get a handle on it. And it's kind of sad that it isn't more transparent. It should be more transparent. All this naked shorting and all this stuff. And hopefully that changes with the new government, and they can make sure that none of the bad stuff happens. And I don't know how much bad stuff does happen, but for me personally, it's part of the world we live in. It's part of the market. I got to live with it, but I take that and it only drives me forward. It only strengthens me. I relish in that. I really, really, I like proving people wrong when they come at us.
Well, obviously, good luck and congratulations on all of this. Obviously, a massive win, and I'm excited to see what you guys can parlay in this going forward. So I'm sure we'll be talking in a couple months. But the fact that you took time out of your day to talk with all of us, literally right before Christmas, means a lot to me. It means a lot to the audience, to the community. So once again, thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and congrats once again.
All right, thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and can't wait for 2025. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Yep, we'll talk soon. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Folks, there you have it, Mr. Chris Pavlovsky. And in that conversation, Rumble just kept going. I was trying to not be rude there, but I just kept looking over and Rumble just kept going up and up and up. Absolutely wild. Like, I just kept looking. I was like, dude, 83, this stuff is just ripping. I was like, dude, how strange of an environment that I'm looking at the CEO as his own stock is just barreling forward. Like, literally, I'm like looking over and like, wow, that's pretty green, man. Like, it just kept going and going and going. Wow, dude. Think about this, how mentally insane this is. Tether has almost doubled up on their investment. They put $775 million into this, and they are about 15-20% away from doubling up on it in one day. Think about, like, okay, obviously this is exciting from our perspective because a lot of us are invested in it for good reason. It's exciting from a Rumble perspective because you have a lot of the employees who they got payment in the stock of their company, so they're making quite a bit. Obviously, the cash injection, it improves the fundamentals of the company. But imagine being Tether right now. Tether gave them this money on Friday, and then fast forward to Monday, and that $775 million is worth about what? North of $600 million right now? Do you know how like crazy that is? Dude, they're probably so stoked. They're probably as degenerate as we are, just watching every single minute it go up and go up and go up. Wild. Absolutely wild. And I don't know, I'm actually almost doubled up on my money in this because my average was in the low sevens. So the fact that this is working out like this is crazy. And I do want to clarify, I have no plans. I'm invested in this. Yes, this is exciting, but I'm in this for years. I've already been in it for years. 1 day's movement, 1 week's movement, 1 month's movement, 1 year's movement isn't going to impact. If anything, as I've always been doing, I've been buying the dips, and I'm just waiting to see how this one really plays out because I'm excited about the long-term potential. Now, because that's what I'm doing, I'm not saying it's necessarily for you. If you're an active trader, you're an active trader, and your goal is to ride the trend, whatever that trend may be. But for me, I am not an active trader when it comes to Rumble. I'm an active trader when it comes to the SPY and Qs and Broadcom. Actually, I wouldn't mind investing in Broadcom as well at this point. Anyway, that's a side point. But with Rumble, it's an investment. So I just want to be very clear of where I'm at. What about the shorts that posted that this was BS and they still short who posted Friday? Well, if they're short, they're now down about 81% from Friday's close. So it sucks to be them. I don't know. The scoreboard says a lot. Like, we all have thoughts and opinions. And I guess if you have high enough conviction and high enough confidence in said thought and conviction and opinion, you could put your money where your mouth is. But if they did do that, they're already down by quite a bit. So I guess what do I say to them? They made the wrong play. And I think this one was a pretty evident one, if you ask me. They got $250 million of cash. They're refilling their cash levels to pretty much when they just went public anyway. So, like, from a fundamental standpoint, this is a strong partner. As Chris alluded to, the cash that they previously spent, it's not like they're going to just run that back because the cash they spent, they used to build things. So the things are built. They don't have to rebuild what they already built. So as he was saying, and I hadn't thought about it this way, they're actually in a much stronger position from a dollar value in their bank account because they already have the quote unquote assets of the things that they already built out. So now they're reflush with cash, but all the things they needed to build last time are now already built. So it's a completely different situation. And I think it was wise that he kind of thought about it that way and explained it that way. And actually, speaking of this, the SPY and the Qs are going now. The SPY and the Qs are going. Where are we at? Hang on. What is today? Today, Piper just fired, oddly enough. Today is the 23rd. 23rd. All right. If you are in the Discord, I'm putting it up right now. In the Discord, Piper just fired. That's up there. And then I should probably figure out what in the world I want to do. What do I want to do? Do I want to take the trade today or do I want to make my life easy? Those are always the tough decisions. You know what? I'll let it rip. I'll let it fly today. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Put an order in. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to get a fill, though. Do I want to chase it? Modify. Modify, modify, modify. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, if you're in the Discord, my trade did go through. So let me take a quick screenshot and send it in. So Piper fired. That's in there if you're in the Discord, which remember, you just need to sign up through locals. And if you have any issues, reach out to me. I will personally assist you. So we did that. Download. Nope. Downloads. All right. We're here. And then I did my own trade, a little bit more of an aggressive Piper, if you will. All right, so that's in there. And then I wanted to talk about this so that I felt like we were personally being attacked for being degenerates in the market. Dude, like at Rumble, 350 is the next level. If you're watching Rumble, right here, it looks like we're heading up to this like key rejection point in late October of 22. And then also when it first went public, there was some resistance, there was some support. So seems like 350 is a big technical level, just above 350. So watching that. And then from there, the next big options level is all the way up at 15. So basically skipping 9, skipping 10, taking out this recent high of 1125, taking out the downsloping trend line of 1250. We're coming up to 1350 right now, running into a bit of resistance. If Rumble is fortunate enough to take that out, the next big watch, I would argue, is 15 in the short term. So that's what I'd be watching in the short to medium term. I do want to clear, I'm invested in this. I'm not actively trading it. I don't have any options. I just have shares that I'm riding and riding and riding. But I know there are many active traders in here, so I just wanted to share that with all of you. And let's go back to, I don't know, the life of a degenerate. So if you're watching this, there's a really high chance that you're a degenerate trader like myself. And we've been attacked by the internet many times before. And I'm sad to report that we are now being attacked by mainstream media. Apparently, we're addicted to the crack cocaine of the market.
Our next guest says a new type of addict is showing up to Gamblers Anonymous.
You know, people think we do have all these things.
I do have. It's the same person as my stylist and my assistant and my boss. It's all the same person.
All the same person.
Yeah, anonymous. You do too. Anonymous meetings across the country, and you have a daughter who will
have a daughter
soon collaborate with that other person to where you have no say on anything whatsoever. Gunjan's here. Her piece in the Wall Street Journal is titled "More Men Are Addicted to the Crack Cocaine of the Stock Market." This is horrible.
That's us.
Joining us is
I saw this headline. I was like, what are you doing?
Raise your hand.
Gunjan Banerjee is the lead writer for the Wall Street Journal's live markets coverage. She's also a CNBC contributor. Is it like the Mag? Is it options? Is it the Mag 7?
Hell yeah, it's options.
Where do you
give me
see
them
this,
zero
phenomenon?
DTs?
And I used to be a stockbroker, and there was a time with options where I definitely know what you're saying.
more and more men are getting addicted to trading in financial markets. And what dozens of individuals told me, counselors, doctors around the country told me, is that a lot of this is concentrated in options, short dated options, and cryptocurrencies. That's really what has gotten a lot of individuals around the country into some of the
Zero
most
DTs
trouble.
and
As
meme
one counselor
coins.
told me,
Love it.
one client walked into his office recently. He was suicidal because he had lost $14,000 trading options on Robinhood. So these short dated options, the 0 day options, are really getting a lot of investors into so much trouble. One investor told me they were his downfall.
Those are relatively
You and me both, brother.
recent.
You and me both.
My problem, Gunjan, was wasn't really a problem, but on option expiration days, when you are going to settle, if you're right around the strike price, you're just out of the money or just in the money, you can either buy or sell the options. And a lot of times by the end of the day, it settles outside of the money. So things that are going for a 16th can close at 3, something like that. And I mean, you can't believe the amount of money that you can make. But then a lot of times the pros are gaming that system a little bit, and they'll close you out of the money. And but with these, so now it's with these short dated options. How long have I've seen that, and we've talked about them. How long have those been popular?
This is Wall Street's hot new trade. These really only took off the past 2 years. It's a relatively newfangled product that has reached new heights this year. When you look at the data, it's really quite shocking how much of the activity is taking place in these short dated options. For example, in NVIDIA and Tesla options, around half of all activity is taking place in trades that expire within just 5 days. And those are the trades that people are calling the crack cocaine of the stock market. They're really quite addictive because the gains and losses are just so quick. And what traders told me was that it always seems like the next jackpot is just one trade away.
And they're high beta stocks, so things like NVIDIA and the like. Is it like Las Vegas, all the nice buildings and resorts, they come from somewhere, don't they? It's not like all the people that go there necessarily have multi-million-dollar houses, but the companies end up there. Do most people lose at this, Gunjan? Is anyone getting rich?
We do.
I mean, I think Wall Street is certainly getting rich off these products. And most individual investors I spoke with said that they were on the losing side of these trades. I heard some harrowing tales of 6 figures lost trading options, trading cryptocurrencies. Some people had lost it all. But there were also some really dire mental and emotional consequences. You know, some men told me that their marriages were on the verge of or had actually ended in divorce because of their trading. One man I quoted in this article said that his wife gave him an ultimatum. You need to stop trading or I'm done.
She doesn't get the grind.
The losses had gotten so bad. He was growing isolated from trading. He was growing depressed from trading. So this is going past just financial consequences now. The trading has severe.
Whoa. You're telling me my boy was dedicated to the grind and his wife just didn't appreciate that? Dude. He was trying to make his life better.
Health consequences for a lot of the individual investors that I interviewed for this piece.
It sounds like all the same symptoms of sports betting, or and then you're down, you try to make it back, so you make even bigger bets, and I can see it all happening, and you probably need the same type of intervention that's decades old for normal gambling. You probably need some type of program or something, right? It's hard to quit.
Exactly. And, I interviewed treatment centers around the country that said they have seen an uptick in patients seeking help for trading in financial markets. And this is new for a lot of doctors and counselors out there who aren't familiar with things like options and cryptocurrencies. But to your point about sports, similar to how you can bet on how many points, say, Jalen Brunson is going to score in the first quarter of an NBA game, that's what you can do in the options market today. You can bet on where stocks and indexes will be in just a few hours.
Hell yeah, you can.
It's not that different from sports betting.
Right. There's commercials now where they
listen, lady, I'm already sold. You don't have to make it better. Like, come on.
The kicker makes the field goal that's coming up in like a minute. Like they're on a commercial break. you know a field goal's coming, you can bet on whether he makes it from. That is near term, and I guess it's happening here. Gunjan, thank you. I don't know. It's troubling, and but it's good that you're bringing it to everyone's attention. Maybe we can prevent some people from starting it.
Prevent people from starting it. They're just trying to keep us down, folks. Degeneracy will reign supreme. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. So wild. Feels like a personal attack, honestly. All right, where are we at? Ooh, that's not good. Ooh. The Qs did not break out yet, and the SPY tried to break out and then got quickly smacked down to this trend line. So let's see if it can recuperate at 589. Rumble's looking phenomenal. Up a mere 82%, dude. This thing is going to kingdom come. 80% in a day. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, haters gonna hate. She's an ainer. Haters gonna hate. Ainers gonna ain't. As I say, putting like $15,000 of my own like 0DT option plays on today. What is this? Zero commission. Whoa. That's a lot of, dude. Public's doing a lot of cool things. Public's doing a lot of cool things. Did that go through? All right. 589. Here's the options flow. Looks like we have a put credit spread at 5890. There was a different put credit spread at 5915 that got pulled off the table. It was spread by 15 points. That's an interesting one. A little bit of a call credit spread right above us, and then there's another call credit spread. So larger call credit spread, another smaller weird call credit spread, one large put credit spread that did disappear, and then there's another put credit spread down here at 5890. So those are the major 0DT plays on the market. And then if you guys want to see the options flow on the day, here's how we've been looking. So a little bit choppy at market open. Then from 958 down to 1010, we did dip. I assume this is because of the consumer confidence report. But then from 1009 up until 1039, we had 30 minutes of a bullish push that's recently been kind of coming back. And what we have there is call monetization. So people basically rode their 0DTE calls up to 1039, and then from 1039 until now, they basically just been locking in their profit. And there was also a little bit of short-term put buying as well in the past, couple minutes, past about 15 minutes, something like that. So kind of watching this to see what in the world is going on. Where do we have? Let me see if I can find other major support levels for you. 5,900 is actually big technical support from the, it's technical support, psychological support, and option support. So if SPX were to dip down here, it actually is a pretty interesting bullish opportunity. The way things are currently structured, obviously that's always going to be a psychological level, but it is a key technical level. And as of right now, it is also a key options level. So 5,900, I'm not saying we are going to dip to it, but if we do dip, I'd actually be a little bit more interested in a bullish opportunity rather than betting on that breakdown. So I want to be clear of that. I don't know. I'm still kind of leaning bullish just because today's seasonality and the overall, like this portion of the year seasonality does favor the bulls. I do get that the 5 minute and the 10 minute, the 5 minute and the 10 minute are red right now. So I get that. But I'm just peeking some key levels here. We might be able to actually see it a little bit better on GexBot. This is just another options tool I like to use. Let me state latest. Yeah, so looks like there's big support at 5,910 according to the current gamma distribution, and then right here at 5,870. So we're seeing like support actually come in a little bit higher here. What do we see on this? This is all the way down at 5,895, so that's another level of support. If you want to see the flow, price has come down a little bit, but flow is actually at support at 5,935. So we have some support there. Interesting. Just kind of looking at different time frames to get a better understanding of what might or might not be going on here. But what I can tell you is, as we're trying to dissect, is I don't know. I wouldn't. Hang on. Let me check one more thing for all of you. The expected movement today was $34. How far have we actually moved? 40. $35 moves brings us to 5.9. So this was the expected move on the day already. Like, we did hit it. There's not much expectation to go like much below that, and we're at key support. So those are various things to consider with the overall market. I think we're just I think it's running out of steam down to the bear side, but obviously that's just my humble opinion, but there's no real reason to make me chase this at this low. But obviously the exciting thing is Rumble, which is the gift that keeps on giving, higher highs, higher lows, currently up 84% on the day. This thing is ripping. Closeout last week at 719, currently at 1322. This thing is moving. A question for all of you, whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube, how many of you own Rumble stock right now? Rumble stock, or if you're playing Rumble options. I guess like my question is, how many of you actually have an active like market bet, whether bullish or bearish? I bet many of you are bullish, but just in general, how many of you are actively playing Rumble in the market, whether as a trade or an investment, stock or options? I don't think many of you are playing swaps. Yes, own and hold Rumble. Me. Okay, so there's actually quite a few of you guys in here. Quite a few. Matt, don't forget your coat. I'm going to need a coat. King Kyle is 1K. 58,000 shares. Wow. 1,000 shares. Invested in Rum in 2018. Oh, back when it was a SPAC. 3,000 shares. 800. 5K stock in Rumble. You know, you guys are making me... I don't like doing this. I don't like checking how much my long-term, like my investment account is up, like my literal retirement account. But just because we're ripping so much, I almost want to log in and do it today. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel better about buying a very expensive last-second ticket that I fly out. Dude, this one portion of mine, I'm up 180% on Rumble. This was one of my really good buys. Up 100, and that's not options. That was that's one of my IRAs. My Rumble investments up 180%. Holy shit, dude. Dude, those are great options gains, and these are stock gains. Fuck, man, that's crazy. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oh, man. It's fun to check it on these guys. It's a party tonight, dude. You guys know it. You guys know it. Oh, man. All right, we're catching a bit of a bid. It looks like the Qs are kind of go back green right here. So some lower highs, higher lows. Watch for this breakout around 519, and then look for the SPY to get above 590. I do think the low of the day is put in. That's my own opinion. I can't make any promises, but based on the current information, I feel like it's more probable than not. So not a guarantee, but I think it's more statistically likely that this is the low of the day based on really the options flow. But we're going to see. We're going to see. All right, remember 1350 is the next big resistance here. 1350 is the next big resistance. While we're waiting to see if we do or don't break that, I believe you guys sent in a lot of things to react to. Like I said, Christmas came early. Like I said, Christmas came early. All right, let's see what you guys sent in. What's going on the internet today?
Who is the real president-elect, do you think?
Donald Trump won, I believe.
Democratic lawmakers in Washington are calling Elon Musk President Musk now, and they're saying Donald Trump is the vice president or the head of communications.
What's? Wait a second. No one said that.
Really? Have you not watched and paid attention to the
Absolutely
news?
not. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing during my day so I can try and get a better life and get ahead.
Okay, do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Why don't you Google right now?
Yes, tell me.
President Musk and see what comes up.
No. But that's already a loaded question, you realize.
Tell me, give me the sources.
Axios, Business Insider.
Oh.
We don't trust
Keep
any
going,
of these. The
keep
common
going,
man doesn't
keep
trust
going,
any of this.
keep going.
ABC News,
Oh,
Washington
keep
Post.
going.
New York Times,
Oh,
The Atlantic.
Oh,
I don't trust any of these.
Oh!
I don't trust any of them.
Okay.
I don't trust any of these. We're the common man. We don't trust any of these. No one trusts the government. No one trusts the common news. We don't trust any of that anymore.
Well, look,
Independent news, we are the ones that own the news now. People trust me. They don't trust MSNBC because I care and I'm actually one of them.
Can't disagree with you.
Okay.
Because
Well then.
I get a lot of people coming to me saying, I only watch, I don't watch corporate media anymore.
Right.
What an incredibly hard fall off. Don Lemon, dude, pack it up. You're done. Oh, The View. These clips, I don't even know what she's going to say. I don't even want to read it, but The View makes me so mad.
Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I call him vice president. I call him president because I don't know what JD is doing. I hardly ever say. I don't remember the last time we even talked about JD.
You're right. He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
So you think it's Musk Vance?
Possible.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Because, people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs. Watch out.
Hot take. Hot take alert. I like The View. Now, before you bash me in the comments for saying I like The View, let me explain it. The View is a beacon of hope. It represents that even with a single-digit IQ in the United States, you can still make it. Do you know how many dumb people should look up to The View and still understand that, hey, they can make it? It really is inspiring that you could be so incredibly stupid and still survive in this country. Man. This is what 30 trillion in debt looks like in pallets. All right. Got it. 10 grand. Little stack there. Little stack of Rooney. What's that, 100 or $1 million? That was $1 million. This is 100 million. 100 million is about a dude. And also could be made into a couch. Wait, $1 billion in cash? Whoa. $1 trillion? This is what $1 trillion looks like? And we're 35 of those in debt? How many football fields is this, man? It's more than one? $1 trillion of physical cash is almost 3 football fields. And we're 35 of those in debt. We're a Statue of Liberty in debt. Bro. We are a block of Manhattan in debt. Oh, that's not good. And this picture that they're showing, we're actually 5 more trillion on top of that. That's how quickly our debt's been picking up. Holy crap. That's so brutal. Write it off. Write it off. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Rum crushing it. 1350's resistance. I'm telling you guys, the next level I'm watching is 15. I really think because of where the options market bets are coming in, I think the next natural magnet level is not at 14 where we currently are at a gain of 93%. I think we're literally talking about $15 next. And then, of course, it's just, if that breaks, dude, the negative gamma tilt's going to be nuts. I think it's insane that celebrities took so much during Rona.
The government spent $14.5 billion to support the entertainment industry during COVID, but some of the biggest names in music sent that money mostly to their own pockets.
So Chris Brown, he got $10 million. That's the maximum allowable grant. Out of that $10 million, he paid himself $5.1 million. And then he spent another $80,000 on a 33rd birthday party for himself. All of it paid for by taxpayers.
Marshmello. Christopher Comstock is his legal name. Like, Christopher Comstock paid himself $9.9 million.
Steve Aoki, who's a famous DJ, but fun fact, his dad founded Benihana, took $1.9 million just for himself.
Members of Shinedown were taking home hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece.
A single member of the band Shinedown got more than all of their touring employees.
Alice in Chains got, I think, somewhere
What?
$1 million.
Why are these people
And more
such
than $1 million
scumbags?
of that went into these band members' pockets. We found one guy who had worked with Alice in Chains for a long time. Scotty Doc is what people call him. During the pandemic, he was diagnosed with cancer, and AIC Entertainment's budget shows that it didn't spend a dime on health insurance.
It's not really clear how much help Alice in Chains gave to him. They're not listed as contributors to his GoFundMe, and somebody familiar with his situation
What?
told us that they referred him to a charity to help with his medical bills. But 2 weeks after posting the GoFundMe, he had died.
The sad reality is that for a lot of middle-class people in the music industry, they didn't have options. And even though all this money was flooding into these companies, it wasn't necessarily trickling down.
To read the full story, find it on businessinsider.com.
What scumbags? Oh, here we go. AOC. Time to learn something.
Oh, I don't think we're witnessing the start of an oligarchy. I think we are fully here. You literally have a completely unelected billionaire who has just taken over and paused government funding to specifically take out provisions regarding China and other areas that pertain to him. You have billionaires who run news outlets like Jeff Bezos and the Washington Post, billionaires that run the LA Times, completely interjecting into their editorial boards and manipulating what's being written in them. We're here. We are here. And we are going to witness very unprecedented moments come January. Elon Musk, I believe, does create problems for Trump. And I've been seeing over the course of the last week that when Elon tweets something and when Trump tweets something, Republicans don't know. I've said this earlier. Republicans don't know who their daddy is. Like, they don't know which one they need to be listening to first, and it's scrambling them. But it's not a joke that I think Elon poses real political problems for Trump and arguably may have more, at least rival his power and influence. And that's going to be a problem for Trump. They're both bad, but there you go. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of people that have answers and takes on this question, understandably so. I'm not going to be here to tell you here's the definitive answer, but because I think that the time that we are about to enter is going to be highly experimental. I do not think, to this other question, that it is about waiting for a political party to have an answer. I do not believe in that, like, just as a worldview, that we wait for Democrats as a political party to save the country. I don't believe that the structure of that party does that inherently. Now, that doesn't mean, to me, that doesn't mean that you don't vote for them, but I believe that building independent power of people's movements, union, labor, other protest movements, etc., is where.
Why is it that whenever she speaks, I think of the Happy Madison or Billy Madison? I was mixing up Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. I always think of the Billy Madison clip where they're like doing the debate, and he's like, and now we're all dumber for having listened to it. in that moment, I felt my brain being fried. Would you cook for me for $100? My favorite new TikToker.
Would you cook for me for $100?
I can't. I'm going to work.
Would you cook for me for $100?
Yeah, I would. You serious? Whew, God is good. I have no family here in the state of New York, none at all. My biggest dream is to be a billionaire so I can be able to help people.
Hell yeah,
I want to
sister.
be able to open up a shelter because I know somebody has
Dude,
helped me.
bacon, I'm in.
And you know what?
Sold.
I don't have nobody but God. I don't want to be sad. I didn't wake up this morning sad. Shift lit. So when are you coming back to breakfast again?
You want me to come back?
Yeah, you be my friend, my new friend. This is my little nephew, y'all.
So what do you look for in a man?
He gotta have a job. He gotta have his own place. If you can't buy me a
eggs
pack
and
of
bacon?
gum, you want toast?
Yeah, if you have.
Do I look like I'm African American?
Yep.
Some people say I look like I'm Spanish.
Thank you so much.
You.
Why is it so good? It was so good.
Oh, God. You heard me this morning.
I want to do that. I might die, but I want to do that. Dude, I can't handle more of her. I can't handle. What is she talking about? Yeah, dude, I can't do more AOC. Oh, wait, did I click? I think I might have clicked on multiple. My bad. Hang on, very quickly. Yep, Rumble's still sitting up 91%. Q's technical breakout. SPY technical breakout. Holding on the retest. Beautiful. Nvidia's looking good, up 2%. ASML, I'd rather trend the other way. DJT's picking up now too. Interesting. Interessante.
Here just call me and say, hey, right here just call me and say, hey, we had a water leak. Is there any way you can come back and patch the concrete? And I said, yeah, absolutely. How big's the area you need me to patch? He said it's roughly 1 foot by 1 foot. And I said, okay, that falls right into my $2,000 minimum. So for $2,000, I get out there and get started. And they said, come on. But unfortunately, this is as close as I can get my truck to the work area right there. So that means I got to use a wheelbarrow to get everything over there, all my materials and concrete. So screw that, $150 upcharge. You can see how deep this patch is. That's 2 2x4s. So this hole right here is at least 9 inches thick. So I'll charge I could fill it up with some gravel. That way I didn't have to use so much concrete. And since this is about to rain in 2 hours, I have no choice but to use fast setting concrete, which is going to set up in about 30 minutes. And with that means I'm going to have to work hard. And I run the risk of losing this concrete because it's going to set up so fast. So for that, I'll upcharge. Like that, this job right here is a wrap. And I felt a couple of raindrops, so I went and knocked on the manager's office over there, and I said, hey, I don't want to risk this concrete getting ruined, so for another $250, I can run to Lowe's and get some plastic. He said, go ahead and do it because they don't want it to get ruined either, especially when they're paying all this money to have it looking good. Since I ain't got no caution tape, I am going to leave my cone out here, and I explained to her, since I'm going to have to come back tomorrow and pick my cone back up, that's going to be a $250 trip charge. That right there is just how I made $4,300 in 30 minutes, baby, upcharge. Right here, just call me.
Upcharge.
Here, just.
Merry Christmas, brother. I finally made my money back from FAMC. LOL. And oh yeah, Rumble's the only stock I have because I'm 99% in crypto after I lost 100K in FAMC. Well, I am happy you are making it back. Thank you so much for that. That's a very kind super chat. And obviously, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to you. I hope you crush it. I hope next year is even better. Even better. Whoa. What is this? A day at the world's most expensive gym? What do you get at the most expensive gym?
$10,000 a month gym.
10,000?
250 members. Technology is advancing at incredible speeds, and so are the capabilities to give us a healthier and longer life. Working out and lifting is not just one aspect of the wellness journey that I've stumbled into. Proper food is available, but today I opted for a juice and a little downtime and some work in the lounge before I started doing a full recovery. This is where the membership shines, starting out with red light therapy that's optimal for all things regeneration, whether it's skin or muscles. I didn't get to go to the Red Sea when I was in Israel, but that's what this float therapy is supposed to feel like with over 1,000 pounds in salt. You feel as though you're hovering. It's a time for you to reset and calm your mind. I obviously paid no attention to the cold plunges to my right, but I did sneak a few minutes in their dry sauna while you weren't looking. To end my full day of recovery, we spent some time in the hyperbaric chamber, but of course work had to be done. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
I think it's not worth $10,000, dude. What? What? The gym has hyperbolic chambers, cold plunges, floats, Himalayan salt sauna, red light therapies, massage, and IV vitamin drips. Fucking what? $10,000, dude. There's just such a class of people that have so much money that they're like trying to come up with creative ways to piss it away. And I just want, how do I get there? How do I get to the level where I need to be creative in my avenue of losing money? Like, what? Better be the fucking best IV drips out there, man. Rum, 88% gain. I told you guys. All the freaking naysayers making fun of my feelings on it. Delta's dropping a little bit on the S&P 500, but they're holding well on the Mag 7 and the equities. Huge pop up until 11:10, and now we're going a bit flat at the moment. A bit flat. The 5-minute trying to go bullish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute bearish, 4-hour bearish. 5-minute is bullish, 10 minutes testing, 30 minutes trying to get back into the bullish territory on the NASDAQ. So a bit of a choppy day thus far. It would have been easier with follow through, but just we're waiting to see. Go to Kraken. Rumble shares erupt after a $775 million Tether investment due to the stock up 88% in real time. Disgustingly good. Disgustingly good. Shows you the power of a new partnership and a $250 million worth of investment. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. All right. I'm not seeing any other major thing. Just rum. Rum's the watch. Matt, will Rumble squeeze? What do you mean? How are you actually defining squeeze? Rumble's going up. It's going up a ton. And I'm hopeful that it goes up even more. But, like, what do you mean a squeeze? I think that world is just because of AMC and Jimmy. It's just thrown around and people don't even know, like, what they mean when they're trying to talk about it. I think it's literally just a term. Like, I'm saying from a pure, like, measurable standpoint, what do you mean by when you say squeeze? No one knows what squeeze means anymore. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. When do you know when to exit a trade? I know it's individualistic, but what's a good rule of thumb? Depends on, I mean, there's many different ways you could do it. There's systems that have measured profit targets. There's ones that do multiple of your risk to reward, like let's say 2 times whatever your risk was. There's some that just do trend following, like breaking down an EMA. They can all be profitable. Squeeze to people are like hundreds a share. Well, it should never be denominated in the value of the share because that could change with stock splits and reverse stock splits. So that's a stupid way to do it. It should be your percentage because that's what matters. What matters is the percentage gain. It's not just like if you have a stock that goes from 1,000 to 1,100, the 1,100 isn't necessarily better than a stock going from 10 to 20. What you care about is the percentage. So to care about the dollar value, that's just a mathematical sleight of hand because what you care about is the percentage gain and or loss of the market cap of the company, not what one share is worth. That is just a misunderstanding of the stock market and how it works. The squeeze is happening today. No stock is up 86% without it. Form of squeezing shorts. That's not necessarily true at all. To say that as a blanket statement, no stock is up 86% without it. I look at any pharmaceutical stock that literally it's just, it passes an FDA approval. The next day can gap up hundreds of percent and it might not have any shorts involved in it whatsoever. That's a very dangerous thing to assume that things only go up or down related to shorts, either getting in or getting out. There's stocks that have massive movements and it has nothing to do with shorts whatsoever. People could ride a stock up and they're bullish and they get in at 10, get out at 20, and they're happy with doubling up. And then someone else might think it still has room to go, so they buy it at 20 and ride it to 30. So like with no shorts involved in that situation at all. I would be very, very careful of assuming things only go up or down dramatically because of shorts. Sometimes it involves shorts, but that is not like a requirement, if that makes sense. I bought Rum because of Matt and I signed up for Rumble. Well, you should never buy or sell because of anyone. If I present information to you that resonates, hey, have at it. But maybe someone else presents information that doesn't resonate and you decide to do something else. But as for you signing up for Rumble, well, I'm super stoked about that. Matt, seriously, you have the best channel ever. Well, that's because I have the best fucking audience ever, like you, my brother. Like you, my brother. I got married because of Matt. Well, that's because we got married together. You got married because of me because we're married. Hairy ass. I married hairy ass. I cannot believe your name is hairy ass. But yeah, we're married. It wasn't because of me. It was to me. They're one and the same. I said part of it. If shorts are definitely covering today on Rum, you cannot say definitely. You do not know that. This definitive way people approach the market, like right there, we have a user saying that they're definitively covering. You do not know that whatsoever. So that's whenever you get in the world of being definitively confident about something in the stock market, that's the exact time that the market's going to kick your face in. You cannot say definitive things. They do not exist. And I don't know. This isn't an opinionated thing, but for you to be like, they're definitively covering. You don't know that. You don't know that whatsoever. You're guessing it. And maybe you think the probability of them covering is increasing. But to be like, nope, they have to be. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know shit about their position. You don't know their investment thesis. You don't know where their margin level's at. You don't know how much more money they have. You don't know what the cost to borrow is that they're currently sitting on. There's so many unknowns. So for you to definitively state anything, you don't know. And taking a step back, like as a larger, I guess, mental framework of what the market is or isn't and how to approach it, you need to be careful when anyone, all of us, myself included, as soon as you start getting into the world of like thinking in definitives of like, nope, this has to happen. I'm telling you, that's exactly when you're at your most vulnerable to mess up your account. But that's absurdly silly. Absurdly silly. What to look for on Rum zero DTs? There are no zero DTs. The next expiration will be probably Friday. The only thing that has zero DTEs are generally is the overall market. They have expirations for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Most equities are just gonna non-index things. Like just think of an individual company. It's most likely the next upcoming Friday is the next one. I had loaned 3,000 shares, bought back Rum, so I can say the shorts were bought back. Okay, cool. Say whatever you want, but clearly you have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, SPY, that was a nice breakout. Q's getting a nice follow through. Rum getting smacked at 14, coming back to that big breakout level at 1250. Watching that, I'm fully expecting volatility to go all sorts of haywire, but currently up 73%. That's just crazy. 66% of the time, it works all the time. I honestly think, as much as that's a joke, I think so many of the people approach the market in that manner. And they're like, nope, it worked once before, so I'm just going to bet everything that it works again. Which is such just an uninformed way to approach the market. It's an incredibly uninformed way. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. I just have a feeling that is not working for most people. I took a long at 12 this morning after opening your stream, looking minty for Friday. Why'd you buy it at 12 when you could have this is one thing that's always going to confuse me is someone just said they got in on stream and were more than happy to buy it at 12. Bro, where were you this entire time? I don't, so many people are willing to buy things after they explode, but are never willing to get in before the move. Someone explain this to me. I don't understand it. Like, what is this psychology? More than willing to chase something at $12 when you had years to get in below 11, get in below 10, get in below 8, get in below 7, get in. Some of them people get in below 5. And they're like, nope, unwilling to buy it here. And then the second it's actually up 73%, people are more than willing to chase. I don't get that psychology. Like, someone needs to explain that to me. And I it's just such a chase mentality, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. FOMO. Yeah, it's definitely FOMO. And then yet they'll look at their account and can be confused about why they continually go in the red and their account's continually bleeding out. Start doing the opposite. Do the opposite. Get in those things that you like cheap, and then you ride it. Don't just after the move be like, okay, now I'm doing it. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. No one has a crystal ball. Yeah. What does that have to do with this conversation? Having a crystal ball or not having a crystal ball has nothing to do with me saying don't chase. Is Apex offering a discount soon? If I had to guess, I would say so, but I don't know. They don't let me know beforehand. All right, SPY recovering. Here's the options flow on the equities. Taking a little bit of a turn after a pretty nice pump starting at 1026. The Mag 7 pumping at 1026, taking a little bit of a baby turn right now. And if you look at the index, just kind of choppy. A little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit up, not really moving. I think this is just going to be that major support of the day, 5,900. And I think 5,970 will be big resistance if we get up to it. Actually, 75 is what I would be more so calling out. But I'm just looking for that nice follow-through grind to the upside is what I would like to play out for the rest of the day. I use tarot cards to buy meme coins. So that's actually, I honestly think, a better strategy than what people do with chasing. I think if you looked at a host of whatever, meme coins or equities, and then use tarot cards, I actually think you'd have a better chance of success with that than you would when people are like trading off their gut feeling. Rum is a millionaire maker. How crazy is the timing of that? That I posted the video yesterday that rum will make people millionaires, and then the very next day it ripped 74%. Dude, that might be the best time video I've ever posted in my entire career. That came to fruition very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Speaking of coming to fruition, all right, major resistance is now 5,960 and major support is 5,910 in terms of the options market. If you're trading SPX, once again, the upside 5,960, the downside 5,910. High odds that we close today in between those bounds based on the current options market structure. And then my own position, it's not a bad deal. I'm up about $1,000. I could take that money. You made that because of the after hours movement. No, I made it because of the news, the announcement. I covered the announcement, but also it could have easily been crushed after that. Clearly, A's naked shorting URF, dude. Whenever I hear naked shorting, especially like as a reason to get into a play, I just assume you have no idea what you're talking about. I would say 99.99999% of people that you see on Twitter talking about naked shorting a stock have actually, truly no knowledge of what naked shorting is, how it persists, how to spot it in the market. That's like another boogeyman thing. And what's crazy is it does exist. That's the most insane thing, is it is a real thing that you can measure, and people have been caught doing it. But what's odd is the cohort of people taking up the mantle to talk about it seem to have like literally no knowledge on it. like no knowledge about it whatsoever. No more tarot cat cards? No, I have tarot cat cards. I'm letting them charge up. I need them. I use them quite a bit. And so I was obviously taking advantage of quite a bit of their magical ability. So I was just waiting to let them charge back up to hit the new year pretty strong. My shorting involves 3-peat suits. I like it. Probably would have the same way as France and Brazil. Ooh. Yeah, Rumble. Not playing so nice with France and Brazil. SPY picking up. Q's picking up. Rumble bouncing off this major trend line that I was showing you guys right here. This 1250-ish trend line right here. It got up to 1350, got smacked pretty hard. So this seems to be now support, this 1250 region. Would love for that to hold right here, bounce off of it. Would also love a retest of this 1350. And then from there, I'm watching 14. But with that being said, remember, I'm not an active trader of it. So if you are an active trader, stick to whatever your trading plan is. But I'm just an investor in Rumble. So this intraday movement isn't going to sway what I do or don't do, because I have large visions of grandeur for where this thing is going decades down the road. So I'll tell you if I'm right or wrong on this particular investment. You're going to have to come back to me when I'm an old withered man, maybe even at the age of 40. You never know. You never know. Folks, that's what I have for you. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. We're going to be posting content today, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. So make sure you are subscribed on both Rumble and YouTube, and make sure your notifications are on. Content's coming out, but the next live show will probably be Friday. So I'm going to go try to surprise this is the old wife and show up at her mom's house in South Dakota. So I need to figure that out and get a plane ticket and everything. So no show tomorrow. No show on Wednesday, no show on Thursday, but content will be out. So make sure you're stopping back. And hey, folks, I hope you're crushing Rumble. I hope you're crushing it on the SPY and the Qs. I hope you crush the market on this year. I hope you're ready for a great holiday season. I hope you get to hang out with family and friends. And if you don't like those people, I hope you have a great solo time by yourself. Thank you for the vibes. Seriously, you guys are the fucking best. I know I say it, but I just want to let you guys know from the bottom of my heart, you make my life awesome. I hope that I make your life as 1% improvement as you guys make my life. You mean the world to me. So from me, the production team behind the scenes, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate the good vibes. Enjoy your holidays. I'll catch you in a couple of days. Thank you. Love you all. Peace.